is in. The books are in. Yep. They in. They're here.
Log in to KofiPaisaTV.com and get Spears of the Mossy Volume 1 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, from Spears the Pen Volume 2 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, Spiritual Combat Volume 3 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, One Night Before Bed by Any Harret Shun Calfunny, Kalawa's Trip to the Motherland by Kofi Paisa, From Cocaine to Consciousness by Any Harret Shun Calfunny, As I Learned, We All Learn by Kofi Paisa. Also, if you want fresh merch, go to our online store, Family Connect Apparel, and get all the brands. Also, get our 54 deck of quiz and educational cards available now on KofiPaisaTV.com.
ETM Hotel, Rennie Sean. Welcome in peace. My name is Sean. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to this evening's video. Today we're going to talk about something very important. On the panel I have with me, brother Satepin Ra Mariam. I don't know if he's still right.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up? What's happening?
Anything you want to say to the people, man? We just introduce them.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it's brother Satep. We just gonna go on here briefly talk about what we need to do as far as where our priorities should lie, and when it comes to black hate and all the other types of hate. So yeah, y'all tune in.
All right. For everybody just tuning in again, like the show, share the show. Tell a friend, tell a friend. You see it on the screen. Stop black hate. Before you can stop any hate in America, you got to stop black hate. Excuse me. We should be joined by our brothers Sutek and T'Challa. So we waiting on them brothers to hop on. But Satepin Ra, you wanna start us off?
Yeah, so we was in the back chat just chopping it up after the other show, and I just posed the question because me personally, we basically touching on the stop Asian hate phenomenon that's going on, and I'm a fan of Asian culture. I like Asian food, authentic. Big foodie, and I read a lot of, well, I ain't gonna say I read a lot, but I've read some of the Tao, I Ching, and all that stuff. So I'm familiar with Asian culture enough to, respect it. But I just feel like, this Stop Asian Hate just came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. It was provoked by, COVID and Trump pushing it hard due to the trade wars that took place that a lot of people may not be privy to between the United States and China. That's and some of the tariffs that was put in place on U.S. steel or steel going to China and all that stuff. So it's a lot of underlying issues, that's not being talked about when it comes to the Asian hate, so-called Asian hate phenomenon that's going on. But yeah, I just want to start there, and then y'all, I see we got some brothers hopped on the panel.
Hey, peace to the fam, man. Make sure you like the show, share the show. Um, like the brother said, man, we're just getting into this stop Asian hate that's going on. It's crazy that they getting so much attention, so much notoriety, but we've been going through this for hundreds of years here in America, and we've been yet to receive the same effort. And we know as Black people, we've been some of the most loving and kind-hearted people. We accept everybody, you know what I'm saying, to a fault because they don't f with us. These people that we take up for, these people that we ride for, we got to take a look in the mirror and ask, are they riding for us? But yeah, I'll stop right there for right now, man. Peace to the people, man. Make sure y'all like the show and share the show.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Oh yeah, peace, peace. I'm multitasking over here, but yeah, man, it's definitely it's like hijacking the problems and situations we've been facing as Black people since shit. When can you go back in history and find us not having problems dealing with that? I mean, we understand that the underdevelopment of Africa allows for so many different things to go on in European history to advance them and catapult them. Um, and many benefited off of that, not just Europeans. And many are still trying to benefit off that right now on African soil. Um, I don't have nothing against anybody in terms of because you Asian, because you Indian, because you this. No, um, but we all know the struggle we face as Black people. So I feel like we need to stay focused and make sure we're continuing to say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like you say, stop the Black hate first, because the darker you are, the more you hate it. So with that said, I'll stop there.
Okay. Who want to pull the article up? Who got it where they can share it?
I'll put it up. Hold on.
All right. Why brother Sutek pulling that up? Peace to the chat. Peace to Keenan, CK, Zane. Everything is everything. Those of you who are listening and haven't commented, what up, Lamar? And the people who will catch the stream on the back end, peace to you. Hold on 1 second for me.
Yeah, so the article is 30 plus ways Asians perpetuate anti-black racism every day. So this is an article that I skimmed through. I didn't like thoroughly read it, but yeah, this is something I'm gonna let Sean read. I ain't in the read. My state of mind ain't in read right now. Yellow Peril supports Black Power. I read some of it while we wait. It says it would be a massive missed opportunity if we fail to make the connections between the stories of Amy Cooper and Tao Thao. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that, and our daily behaviors. It's easy to dismiss these as isolated incidents perpetuated by racists, but None of this is just one person's racism coming to light, and none of us is innocent. We all perpetuate anti-black racism in our daily lives. We can't fight anti-black racism unless we can notice its manifestations in ourselves and others on a daily basis in our workplace, social interactions, and online engagements. In doing DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion work, I found it I found it useful to actually name the detailed and insidious ways we all perpetuate in oppressing each other. This is one for this one is for my people. Remember, I don't speak for all Asians. This is an Asian guy writing this article. The first one, I read a couple of them, and I'm gonna pause because I gotta run to the next room real quick. Calling the police. The first one is calling the police on black people. Doing this escalates everything and is very possibly life threatening for black folks. Yet I see Asians using this tool of oppression too quickly whenever they perceive, a lot of the times, not even real threat. I challenge everyone to reflect on the time you called the cops. Did they actually help? What did they do that was helpful? We mistake calling the cops with safety. They don't keep us safe, and that's especially true for African Americans. The second one is Asian store owners following the black people around, profiling, which that's something we talked about earlier, and over surveilling, being afraid, quote unquote, of black people the moment they are in sight, not believing black people's stories and struggles. Are you sure they meant it that way? It's not always about race, aka gaslighting the fuck out of them. This is especially harmful because gaslighting that becomes this is especially harmful because gaslighting that comes from other marginalized groups is even more gaslighting. Preferring light skin color over dark. It's colorisms. Using and promoting skin whitening products. Colorism, excuse me, has long been a part of Asian culture globally, and damning effects are seen within and across different Asian communities. While in Asian countries, the preference for lighter skin might come from the disparity of socioeconomic class, i.e., farm workers being darker versus wealthier or upper caste people being fairer. We must question how this prevalent association, wealthy and educated equals light skin, poor and uneducated equals dark skin, manifests in our behaviors and narratives today. Using AAVE, whatever that is, blatant language terms created by or excuse me, and for the black community. I know this is one. This one is sometimes confusing, and I'm still a little mad at Aquafina. Okay. Sometimes we also do this via digital blackfacing, using jiffies that use stereotypical images of black people. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back.
All right. Number 6 is cultural appropriation in the form of art, music, fashion, hair, makeup, etc. Google Asian rappers. I'm screaming. Now, I'm getting the wrath of Asian hip hop fans, so I'll say this to clarify. I don't mean non-black people shouldn't rap or adapt the art ever, although some people may believe this, and I won't fight you. Rather, there are too many Asian folks taking the music form without paying proper respect to its history and origin. Cultural appropriation happens when we take parts of other communities' culture and use them for our own enjoyment and benefit without paying proper respect or also acting in solidarity in our daily lives. We see that also with our religious brothers and sisters. They're taking from other people's culture and not giving it respect. If you're contemplating getting dreadlocks as a non-black person, consider the response from Michael Harriot. I tell him that it means something. Dreads are a subtle protest and a personal bit of empowerment in a culture that strips away every part of your heritage, down to your hair follicles. I'll tell him that for some, it is a religious experience. I'd explain that it is the height of privilege and disrespect to appropriate all of that just because he thinks it looks cute. Also, check out this when it goes on. And we spoke about this in the back. We talked about I'll go back up a little bit. We talked about Jeremy Lin and Jeremy Lin's comeback to dang, what's his name? What's the brother name that played basketball?
Was it Carlos Boozer?
Nah, it wasn't Boozer. Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin.
Oh yeah, Kenyon Martin.
Kenyon Martin had beef with Jeremy Lin when he put dreads in the head. Jeremy Lin's response to Kenyon Martin was, "But you got Asian letters, you got an Asian tattoo." You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna tell me not to wear dreads, then why? You know, you don't need to have Asian tattoos. Was pretty much the comeback. See what I'm saying? And that was rightfully so. And Jeremy Lin was right in his way for pointing that out because he does have the Asian tattoos. So don't tell him not to do something and then you turning around and you rocking they parts of their culture and stuff. You can scroll down.
Hey, I did want to ask a quick question. When we talk about paying the proper respects to a culture, if you're going to use an aspect of said culture that's not yours, living in America, most of us are doing that. Like, we just participating in simultaneously creating what's modern day American culture and living our own culture at the same time, trying to just do whatever. But I feel like, what is the proper respect paid? Is there a designated proper respect ritual for wearing dreadlocks, playing African drums? Because I experienced this in the community with non-blacks doing African drum and dance. It's a long-standing argument. Should they be doing African drum and dance? And it's like, so how do you show respect to give you the right to be able to practice that culture?
I would basically say that you would pay that you know the customs, and if you're familiar with the customs and the traditions, that you honor the people that you're trying to represent in that song and dance, because we can't make nobody not do nothing. You know what I'm saying? America's free will. People can do whatever it is that they want to do, but we can ask them to respect and honor those who they are attempting to represent by not misrepresenting them, the cadence, the rhythm, uh, the voice of the talking drums. Play them at the same pace that the ancestors would have appreciated it, even though you couldn't really facilitate it fully. But hell, you might be a damn good drummer. So just rock it out. Just pay that respect. Allow those who honor the ancestors and may pour libations or something like that. Just sit back and get them the floor. Yield the floor to them. Let them do their thing and then go in.
I agree. We on the next one.
Yeah. All right. So 7 is respectability politics based on false narratives and model minority myth. They bring this upon themselves. They should not commit crimes. Asians work hard to earn our place. I want you to think about the 3 things they said. They bring this upon themselves. Who's saying that? They should not commit crimes. Who's saying that? Asians work hard to earn our place. They're saying that. So with all due respect to that last point, in that last quote, I have a lot of issues with that because you worked hard, but we had to work twice as hard. This country was built on the backs of blacks, free labor, right? The economic growth and the stability of this nation was off the back of forced servitude, but not even servitude, slavery, from kidnapped victims from a continent that knew no new world, and even those who were free, the labored.
I'm trying to figure this out, Sean.
Go ahead.
What group of Asians came here on the damn slave shit? Y'all talking about y'all trying to earn y'all's place. You know, y'all work hard to earn y'all place. Like, who brought y'all over here though? Y'all came over. Of course, you gonna work hard. You came over here for a reason, to escape communism. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who wouldn't work hard? You know, and they got a stereotypical mindset with this quote right here, by trying to say we commit crimes, and we bring things upon ourselves. These is things that they learning from Europeans and from movies and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They're not coming over here seeing how our struggle is and how we came up and all of that. Like, they're not seeing that. Like, a lot of us, we work hard to earn our place in society as a whole. You know what I'm saying? As far as, the people that we around and we associate with and all that. So yeah, that Asians work hard to earn their place. We worked twice as hard, like Sean was saying. We was brought over here, forced. So, that's work hard right there. And then we gotta work hard now to fit into society. You know what I'm saying? Like, we working hard right now. A lot of people, entrepreneurs, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people work for the corporate society, but it ain't nobody slacking, Now, who's this? Now, I'm not saying that there aren't people who fit the description that they talking about. Some people do bring things upon themselves, and some people do commit crimes, but it's based off, and this is my opinion, it's based off the environment that they in. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you bring somebody up in a situation that where it's crime is all they see, they bound to fall to it. The percentage is higher. Now, I'm not saying that everybody falls victim to it, because we do have stories and people that come up out of those types of situations. But yeah, for Asian to say they work hard to earn their place, that's just asinine to me.
Yeah, man. You know, I can't see people feeling how we constantly feel. You know what I mean? Because this is new. This just, these few incidences that seem to be going viral. Uh, and I'm not trying to diminish the incidences, but I know it's well under 100. You know what I'm saying? And they're recent. And we're talking about, police brutality, racial profiling, and profiling is done by police and non-police, just everyday citizens. Let a gang of us walk down the street, right? And let's say all of us on the panel, all of us walking down the street, and we in what we consider to be a white neighborhood, and a lady's walking her dog and has her child. She's going to move it oddly in a particular way because she sees four strangers in her neighborhood and she don't know why, right? They call her Karen, right? She's going to act differently when she sees us. No matter how we're dressed, she's going to acknowledge the fact that there's four black men walking in the neighborhood, unfamiliar, and I don't know what they're up to, but I know they're not from around here. She's going to profile us. Uh, um, um, Jim, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to look out his window or open his front door and see four black guys, and he's going to close his front door and peek out his window and see what the hell we up to. In the meantime, them two people then probably coordinated with another two people, then probably another 6 to 8 people, and now the whole neighborhood is looking at us, waiting on us to do wrong. But now let them be for Asians, brothers or sisters, and let them walk down that same street. It's not that same thing. It would only raise their antennas if they're dressed a particular way, as if they are looking to commit a crime, not dressed as if they just came from school or somebody in the neighborhood. But they might just live in the neighborhood, so it's more readily acceptable. So there's a different type of like I said, experience that we deal with. So let's go there.
Even with that though, Sean, like what you just said, dress like they look like they're gonna. So we know what that is referring to, but we also understand that nowadays, I mean, in the last 365 days, I've gotten hit with 3 different fraudulent attempts on 3 different bank cards.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's like, who knows what that person looked like, and I doubt they dress how I dress. You feel what I'm saying? I doubt that.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt they talk how I talk. I doubt they listen to the music I listen to. I doubt they bout the life that I'm about. And it's like the profiling is so deep for Black people is that you'll profile against how we dress, quote unquote, any hip hop inspired clothing, any, you know what I mean, that's not formal or uniform ish or suit and tie. But then you can turn around and put it on when you take your kids to the baseball game. You can turn around and put it on when you take a jog for a walk, you know what I'm saying, around the neighborhood or to the grocery store or to get in my Uber or to whatever. Like, you could do that. But I can't rock the style that my people actually, this is what I mean about paying respect. Like, Black people, you know what I mean, revolutionized everything about our experience in this country coming out of slavery. We had to. We had to take it and make it our own. We made English our own. We made the culture our own. We started rocking caps to the back, to the side. Like so I just feel like that's just so unfair that you can, and then you can whoop our behind, hit us all upside the head in your beauty salons and nail shops, not even 2 and 3 years ago. Did we forget?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll mute out.
All right, so it is believing we can fit in if we act more like white people. Don't be like Andrew Lang, he is wrong. See, that stereotype is something among themselves that we don't actually have that. Well, we actually do have people that believe that if we acted more like them, so you see the similarities they're drawing up on previous experiences. Like, when did they have to feel like they needed to act more like white? Is this recent? Because we've tried everything. We've adapted. Uh, we've adopted, not adapted. We've adopted other people's cultures, their belief in a deity, their behaviors, their mannerisms, their educational system. All of that. We did all of that. You know, we try to speak with a certain rigor or a certain we try to speak a certain way. We try to speak a bastard language better than them, you know, only to, still face scrutiny. A whole bunch of stuff. Let's move on now. Using and co-opting social justice language created to achieve equity for Black people and other marginalized communities in a way that only benefits us. Affirmative action is racist against Asians. It's not, and we need to call our people in. So, anybody want to explain what affirmative action is? Want to pull that up? Let's take a look and see if it's racist toward Asians. Stay right there, Sutek. I don't want to take you off the screen. But let's just get a working definition of affirmative action. Let's not use wiki. Let's go to the law. And I'll tell y'all right now, I'm at Cornell Law School. I'm reading this definition from Cornell Law. It says a set of procedures designed to eliminate unlawful discrimination among applicants, remedy the result of such prior discrimination, and prevent such discrimination in the future. Applicants may be seeking admission to an educational program or looking for professional employment. In modern America jurisprudence, it typically imposes remedies against discrimination on the basis of, at the very least, race, creed, color, and national origin. Legal origins. While the concept of affirmative action has existed in America since the 19th century, it first appeared in its current form in President Kennedy's Executive Order 10925 in 1961. The contractor will take affirmative action to ensure that applicants are employed and that employees are treated during employment without regard to their race, creed, color, or national origin. In the article, it says that affirmative action is racist against Asians. It's not, and we need to call our people in. So we know what that is, and we don't know what is racist against Asian is. So I can see why they say it's not. Now, 10, forgetting that we benefited from various social justice movements led by and with the Black community. Think about that one. Think about that one. Go back up just slightly to number 10. Forgetting that we benefited from various social justice movements led by and with the Black community.
Hey, Sean, I do want to speak to when we asking questions about when they felt like some of these things. There was a show on Netflix recently. It came out like last year, I think, right when the pandemic hit. It's about this this Chinese guy who gets sent over here during the time of the like when the railroad was like really under development, especially throughout stretching to the West Coast. We're talking during that time period where like the San Francisco Railroad and things like that is really being built up. And they're coming over here, with the time of the steam engine and things like that, where that's a big deal. And dealing with history in terms of when Chinese are coming back and forth during that time, and when they're finding themselves hard up in Chinatown, like in San Francisco, that history of where they're, the things that they went through during that time in terms of the discrimination, because we know that during that time, the Europeans, it's always been about them. Like they had so much fighting that even the Irish was hating on the Englishmen here for employing the Chinese instead of employing the Irish on the railroad. So you've got that going on in the mix as well, where the Irish are fighting and hating on the Asians, the Chinese, for being over here, and they're in and around Chinatown, and they want to be working on the railroad and employed with different jobs. And so there's that aspect that's thrown in there, which still does not equal up to, first of all, blacks allowing Europeans to stretch with the Louisiana territory and the purchase of this territory and stretch further west to populate the rest of the country and wipe out the natives, right? We allowed them to do that because they used our labor and they literally walked us to death. Trail of Tears, Andrew Jackson. Like, come on, bro. It doesn't add up. It just don't. And I think that they try to make those instances in history, like Pearl Harbor, Japanese concentration camps, they try to equate that with the black struggle, the Holocaust with the Jews. None of that equates with the black struggle, because right now in my neighborhood, right now, if I call the cops, depending on what I'm calling for, they ain't coming. But if they hear some gunshots, they'll take their sweet time and eventually come on around and be ready to take everybody to jail if they don't come with their guns drawn. So it just doesn't add up. I wanted to add that to the conversation, that there is historical aspects that they're speaking from, but they don't add up.
All right. So consciously or subconsciously only referring friends who look like us to job opportunities. Yes. And Asians will get a job before we do. So I don't even know what that's about. Stand silent when black people experience violence. Y'all do that, which is every day. And never posting anything publicly due to the fear of being othered, silenced, tacit approval, no matter how you want to explain it. That's true. because while we're going through those struggles that we have been going through, everyone has simply accepted that. And you know what I'm saying? Like they're numb to it, right? They just harassing some black people. It's okay. You continue your lives and then sweep us under the rug, and then we'll turn around and somebody violently tackles you in the middle of the street, and we're supposed to cry. Not understanding why some black people are mad at us. That's interesting, right there. They don't understand why we mad because we've been fighting for hundreds of years since the inception of this country. We've been fighting. It's 2021. You know, we've been here since the late 14th, early 1500s. And says not understanding why some black people are mad at us. Yes, mistrust, sexism, and anti-Asian prejudice towards Asians exist in the black community, and they hurt. Black people go to Chinese restaurants. Black people go to let me rephrase it. Let me say Asian restaurants. Black people go to Asians to get their nails, and their women go get their nails and their feet done. Black people go to Asian shops to buy their weave, women to buy their weave, men to buy barber supplies. And then we get discriminated against when we go to those shops, and we have evidence of that in the last few years. And what we do, instead of boycotting y'all, we still go back. And you discriminate against us, and you benefit from our struggles. You're treating us the same way that the white people have treated us for hundreds of years, and you think it's okay because they do it. So you do it to us, and now something's happening to you, and you want us to cry wolf with you.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen because this is perfect, Sean. Like this is perfect, and you broke it down perfect because every time we go in their store, they peeking around the corner, asking if we need help, all this and that. The same people that do that is the European. Now, when the Europeans start kicking y'all's ass, then y'all want us to sympathize with you. No, we spend money with the Asian community. The Asian community don't spend money with us. So that's just what it is.
Right. Because a lot of them are not eating soul food. They're not eating fried chicken. They're not eating barbecue. You know, their diets, they're not eating like that. They don't
They
take
making that. They
right.
ain't eating like that, but they making that because they know we coming. They making fried chicken. They making ribs. You go to the Chinese spot, they got all that shit. They got the ribs for you. They got the fried chicken for you. And they know you love their food, so they got they traditional foods for you. You know what I'm saying? And speaking to that hair supply situation, I've seen it firsthand. Like it's a main strip in my hometown. It's an Asian beauty supply store, and literally right next door, and I'm talking about literally, it's a smaller black one. I done had locks for 12 years. So I used to, I have to go and get my supplies to maintain my locks. I go in the black store and that motherfucker be desert. It be deserted. They right next door. All the black people right next door. Spending money with these people that you have to endure that type of stuff with. That hurry up and buy, that mentality, that following you around, peeping you, making sure you don't take nothing. They
Right.
over there enduring that instead of maybe having to spend one or two more extra dollars to go to this black supply store.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's crazy. It's our mentality too.
Right. This continues to say, learn about the complex relationships and histories between the Black and Asian communities to understand the anger and frustration, and the motto, allyship to build solidarity. Don't get defensive. Trust. There are so many Black folks who have had our backs and who continue to fight for us. And that's a shame that Black people are fighting for a whole nother race of people more than they're fighting for themselves, in a sense. And then let's go to 14. It says, I don't date black people, but we all have preferences. It's just another way of saying you have racist beliefs about black people. And we spoke about this specifically because in these traditionalists, right? In their culture, you don't go outside their culture. They will get rid of you, run you out the family. September said it best, like they stain you for that, and that's their belief. And you know what? We actually respect their belief, but we don't take up that same stance. I'm not saying that we have to. I ain't saying that we have to. But as far as protecting our own, I mean, the point I'm making is everybody is okay with being racist toward us. And then we're afraid to be racist toward them, in a sense. Depends on what level it is because it has its limitations. 15, I only date black people. Fetishization of black people requires deep self-reflection. Well, if that's all she dates, or that's all he dates, that's their preference. Yeah, it could be a fetish. They might like the way we lay it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, so saying the N word just don't. But I have black friends. My black friend said I can. I don't care. And no one person can speak on behalf of an entire community. That's tokenizing, and we should do better. Yeah, you should. Whether you're Asian or European, you should respect that.
Now, I ain't never heard an Asian say
Yeah,
that. I ain't never heard one get out of pocket like that.
yeah,
Shit, I have.
yeah. They'll call it to you in a derogatory sense, but not like friendly. Ha ha. What's up, my nigga?
No, I mean, like, they working at Walmart, bro. That's part of the reason why I walked away from Walmart, y'all. Like, I would be in the aisle stocking the shelves, and I would hear kids running through the store. Now, this is everybody's children, Indian, Asian, Mexican. It don't matter. And you would literally hear them roughhousing, horse playing. You know how we do. And guess what kind of music they listen to?
Hours.
Right. They blasting the drink on their phone in their back pocket while they running through with their pants sagging. Cap broke off to the left and the right, screaming it. And it's like, what do you do at that point? You know they somebody kids.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's move on to the next. So we got dancing to music. You just mentioned that pretty much by black artists, but never engaging in social justice conversations. Yeah, they call them out. That speak to the point right there. You can identify with our music, you appreciate and understand our talents, but yeah, you will not stand with us when we are being oppressed.
Hey, Paul Mooney said it best, bro. Excuse my English. He said everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga.
Facts. Where we at? Okay. So avoiding black neighborhoods and calling them areas sketchy, ghetto, shady, looking for good school districts and meaning where they are mostly rich white East Asians who get into elite colleges. Yeah, we see that because, I went to, I benefited, I went to Hillsborough High School. Hillsborough High School was a multicultural school. We had Africans from whether it was Central, South, West, East, or North. We had Asians, uh, many different. We had uh, all kind of people that was from overseas that ended up in Nashville. Foreigners to the land, they were there. Mexicans, when we didn't have many Mexicans, maybe that was a small minority, but we had all the other ones, and everybody stuck to their own pretty much, except for the athletes, and pretty much you would have. We didn't have any Asians on the football team. If you did, you played soccer or baseball. Um, You know what I mean? So you would see them the track. You really didn't see any of them. So we kind of benefited from that because my school was out there in what an elite white area. My school, my school bussed in people from the ghetto to a rich Green Hills area across right across the street from our high school was the Green Hills Mall, which still stands today, remodeled, and now they got all them high end quality stores. You got to spend thousands of dollars before you walk out the door type, right? So all them designer names is all out there in the area, and all you see is 600 Benzes, Teslas, and occasional Rolls Royces here and there. Their houses are 5 times bigger than the average person's home in the ghetto. So, they would send people to their school. So I seen this right here, number 18, because some of us, and not all, but some of us were limited to go or zoned to go to that school. It says, not understanding the systemic reason why there are so few Black people in leadership positions and using false narratives to justify pipeline problem. We don't lower the bar, hire the best. Well, the stereotypes about hiring a Black person is that you don't believe that we can get it done. It's just that simple. Whether you're European or Asian, y'all don't believe that we can get it done. You believe that you're better than us. Psychologically, physically, depends on what it is. But sports, you bow down. The rap game or some artistic form, you bow down. But when it comes to competing, like if it was a debate, if it was a courtroom, if it was for a top corporate position, or if it was, truly for like a district manager or something like that, you stereotype us. You do not believe that we have the ability to be able to operate that business at the level or higher than you. And they will give you the opportunity before we get it. And you're going to give somebody that looks like you the opportunity before we get it. And we've been so indoctrinated, we're going to give the opportunity to somebody that don't look like us either. Some of us. So number 20 is not understanding how we use the same tool white supremacy uses to oppress us, to oppress Black folks. That's true, because that's exactly what you're doing. We made mention of that on all the other ones. Being the oppressor's favorite tool to create a racial divide among people of color. Facts. That's what you do. Caring about our families immigrating so we can be together, but not giving a shit about mass incarceration of Black people that separate families. That's an interesting point right there. I don't see the Asian American community, politically stepping up for Black people at all. We either have to cater to your needs, or it's like you're not doing anything for us. Not valuing Black customers. Yeah, well, we dealt with that already. Clients users the same way to salivate over white customers, client users, etc. Yeah, y'all, that's constant. I don't see color. Oh my God, can you just shut the fuck up? Read this if you're still confused why this is harmful. I don't see color. It's very disrespectful. So now you're saying you don't see color. That's a damn lie. Valuing the approval of white people more than forming solidarity with Black people. That is true. You do this a lot. Not calling white people out when they make racist comments or perpetrate microaggressions. Call that shit out whether Black people are in your presence. It's good. Some good stuff right there for you Asians. Not participating in protests and riots when bodies are needed to show solidarity and power. Yeah, I would like to see that. I would like to see an Asian-led movement for Black people. Just Asian-led with no Black.
Man, you crazy. I'm over here getting weak. You talk about an Asian land. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. But my thing is this. I know that ain't gonna happen, right? I don't expect it to happen. I don't want them to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is they ain't gotta, lead a Black Panther party. You know what I'm saying? For us to want to go to bat for them, it's like do some of that shit at the top of the list first before you think we gonna fuck with you on that level. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't want you to start a fucking riot for me. When you see me in the fucking store, treat me the same way you treat that white person over there. That's all I'm saying. You know, don't be following me to fuck around at all. Like all that, like, and it's all that little shit that they
don't look at me like you're trying to rush me to hurry up and get up out of there.
right. Like, and especially when we know for a fact that the African American community spend a lot of money with the Asian community. We fund a lot of y'all's trips and all that shit. So it's like, you need to treat your consumer with a little bit more respect. That's what I'm at. Like, I don't need them to go ahead and lead a whole fucking riot for me, because it's like, okay, you see me in your store every day, this and that. We form a relationship, but it's not that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they don't form no relationship. It's like they just want to be firm. They want to be tough. They want to be disrespectful and all that. So it's like that's where I'm coming from with it. You know, if the relationship was there, it might be some stop because we black people, like, we rock with who rock with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. Because that's what I was telling y'all in the back chat. It's like, if I rock with somebody, I spend money with you, you spend money with me, whatever. Like, it don't matter if you what color you is. We got economics together. You know what I'm saying? And we fund each other's lifestyles. So it's like, I don't want to see nothing bad happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Because whether I'm buying something for you or you buying something for me, it's like, if I go to your store all the time and it's convenient for me, I don't want to see people tear it down because it's in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense to tear down your own neighborhood, especially if it's somebody who you do business with all the time. Like, it just don't make sense to me. But it's like, we don't got that relationship with the Asian community to where.
Let me ask you something real quick though. When you go into their stores, whether it's just a corner store or what I'm saying, just to grab some food, and you may have been multiple times. Do they even know your name or speak to you a certain way?
Now, I would be lying if I said I didn't. So it's this Chinese restaurant I used to go to, bro, all the time. I'm talking all the time, bro. When I say all the time, I'm talking about, if it was 7 days in a week, I probably went like 3. So I did end up forming, and this was like over the span of a couple years. So I did end up forming a relationship, because the dude, he knew my name. He remember I was in college and all that, and even when I left for college and came back, like, he had noticed it and all that. So, like, I have formed a relationship with
Some
an Asian person on that level, to where it's like, he knew my name, I knew his name, his daughter's name, and stuff like that.
right.
But, like, that's one instance. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and use my one instance and say, yeah, let's save the Asian community. No. we need to keep our motherfucking foot on their neck, because I done been in way more Asian stores and seen hate than love. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, I have, but I don't want to talk about that.
Right.
We need to talk about all the times where the shit happened when they wasn't fucking with us, because that's the truth.
Hey, I got the same kind of situation going on over here where I'm at. But what I've noticed is that no matter who I'm talking about, Indian, Asian, Latin, like, first of all, this is not on no Randy Savage type stuff. This is just real talk. Any black man, woman, or child listening and that ever will listen can attest to this. Um, Black person walk down the street, Sean was saying it earlier. You or Sutek, or a gang of us, all of us on the panel walking down the street, or one of us, you're looked at a certain way, period, by society. So, in order to form a relationship, not only do you have to be patronizing their business, but you have to somehow initiate, in a lot of instances, the conversation of letting the person know, hey, I'm not just being cordial. I'm actually a human being. I'm not a robot, android, black man that's all aggression, that's on terminate mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the case. And you almost have to initiate that, especially when you know, you probably look like you will go upside somebody's head. You feel what I'm saying? Like at any moment's notice, just off of your demeanor, the way you carry yourself, your gait as a black man walking down the street, like you have to, you know what I'm saying, watch your surroundings, and that by that same token, not look like a dun that the man can just get over on you. So it's like you have a certain level of aggression that's perceived, and you have to walk with. So they're not gonna just open up to you and form that bond. You have to almost on your end kick a 70-30, 80-20, 90-10 type of energy in order to get something back from them. That's something that I've noticed in my lifetime, speaking on the little bond that I've been able to form with the Asian community or anybody else for that matter, outside of the artistry, of course. Okay, Sean said someone read the next few. Okay, where was we at? Number 24. So 25, not participating in protests and riots when bodies are needed to show solidarity and power. Hmm. Believing our individual economic and financial success will free us and negating the systemic disparities that continue to plague our communities too. Okay. Letting our parents, families, friends get away with anti-black racist remarks and behaviors. I know it can be challenging to risk your family dynamics, especially if you're super family oriented. Like many Asian families, use this guide by Kim Tran to try. Okay. How about for the sake of, we want to talk about stop Asian hate, black hate, stop world hate, stop hate, period, right? But we
Right.
know,
Stop hate.
yeah, bro, like that's just because, like like I'm like you, like I'm really into Asian culture. Actually, I'm really into world culture. I like culture. I like language, music, food, martial arts, defense, war. I like all of that. Um, And as of right now, every field of science and mathematics is better because the world is invested into it. Not just because the Asians have the best calculating methods when it comes to certain mathematics in this instance, not because Africans have the best, you know what I mean? Like, no, it's because the world participates in it and humans help push each other forward on the intellectual level that way we can keep growing and evolving. You know what I'm saying? So we do need to stop world hate, but like, how about not being a bad person for the sake of not being a bad person? Because we end up here having these conversations about stop this hate, stop Jew hate, stop Holocaust hate, stop Japanese hate, stop Asian hate, Chinese hate. Look, man, like if everybody was trying to not just practice hate in the first place, wouldn't have to have these 21st century pseudo millennial oh my God moments. Oh my God, this person said this person about this, and this person in this group and this minority, and these people have been oppressed all their lives. What is it like to live their shoes? Like, come on, bro. Like, that's been the story of all black people, gay, straight, whatever, for the longest. It doesn't matter. If you're black, that's what you've experienced. Like, I feel like I don't need Kim Tran's guide to be a good person in order to be a good person. What were we? Number 28. Only reading, learning from, and quoting non black scholars, speakers, writers, only using research from predominantly white institutions. Well, that's definitely something we go hard in over here at Kofi Pasa Research Team. Um, Performing allyship using hashtags Black Lives Matter, but not actually doing anything different to fuel change. Hmm. Policing black people in our daily lives via over scrutinizing. Black people are disproportionately scrutinized in the workplace, over punishing, hello, school to prison pipeline, and tone policing. Example, don't be so aggressive. Right. So we getting into the cultural nuances of like it's ironic that they'll even do that, like don't be so aggressive. But if you listen to certain dialects of Cantonese and Mandarin, just to be on the like the two very most popular worldwide known dialects, it's many more. But certain instances you'll think that the family is arguing with each other and they all having a good time, no different than what they say about us. Oh, I thought somebody was fighting or arguing or getting into it, and black people just playing spades at the family reunion. Like, I was supposed to say something.
Oh yeah, I was just on mute. What you on? What number you on?
Just read 30, so
Okay.
we're on 31.
Yeah. I agree with everything that you were saying, man. For real. I just really think that I really think that they got to make sacrifices uh for us to accept them. You know what I mean? Like they have to change. See, they're vying for white acceptance sometimes, and other times they're not. They're like, the hell with what you're doing. We're here to get all your money, and we're sending our money back to where we came from. We're going to come here and get your education, and then we're going to bring our kids back to where they came from. We're going to come here and we're going to build our own communities, and then we're not going to go outside of our communities unless it is to make a living, and then we'll return to our communities only. So they'll segregate themselves from everyone else. All the while, they feel like the world's against them here, and they are becoming the people that discriminated against us and everybody else. So I just feel like they're participating in the school to prison pipeline. They're participating in racial profiling. They're participating in the prison. I mean, not the prison system, but the court system, the unlawful ruling. Like, I and a white person get caught with the same amount of dope. You know what I'm saying? Sentencing. He'll get 5 years. I get 10. You know what I'm saying? We both just killed somebody. I'll serve life. He'll get manslaughter. We both had the same intent. It's things like that. So if they want us to do something, they got to change the narrative. And we ain't, because they ain't going to change the narrative. They ain't even listening to us. They don't support us. 31, believing in and holding on to the notion of proper English while dismissing people who deviate from the white European-centered ways of speaking and writing is less educated. You see how that hurts us too, right? It hurt, yeah. Forgetting Black Asians exist. That's a fact, because there is some Black people. And as a matter of fact, I spoke to I spoke to a sister who was who said she was Asian. She was Black, right? She was Black. She said she's Asian. She grew up in Korea. I said, sister, you sub-Saharan African. Your parents Black. Both
Now
of
let
them.
me say this when it comes to that, Sean. She must have just been confused. Was both her parents black?
Both her people was Black, bro. She was born in Korea.
Oh, okay. So she just identifying where she was born at.
Right.
It's the cat in the oven or whatever they say. But what about Naomi Osaka?
Yeah, she's Black and Korean, right?
Not Japanese, but the thing
Japanese.
is, yeah, the thing is, she identifies as a black woman, and she stated this publicly.
Yeah, she want to.
Yeah, but it's like that fit right into it because forgetting that they're black Asians, like they forget that, and when you have some, she could easily say I'm Asian. She could easily say it, but she said no. She chose that. She said I'm an African American woman, so I respect her for that. I respect her for that. But as far as the other Asians, man, I don't respect them, man, because they too traditional, man. They close themselves off, like you were saying. They don't. Then they want us to go to bat for them when the white folks start kicking their ass. They try to latch on to our little movement. It's like, hold on, we've been over here for a long time now, dealing with this. Y'all ain't about to just come on and just latch on to our struggle and say, yeah, this is a black and Asian thing. That's what it seemed like they doing, man. It seemed like they trying to make it a black and Asian thing now. It's like, yeah, you guys are getting the press. Now we're getting the press as well. And who was that? T'Challa was, he was saying some good points too. That yeah, y'all do got some y'all do got a little valid claim to some veracity of being oppressed over here with the Pearl Harbor situation and things of that nature. But that shit kind of fizzled out. Y'all shook back from that. Y'all doing good. So it's like I'm trying to latch on to our oppression over here and try to equate it to the same thing. Expect us to go hard for y'all. That's just where I'm at with it.
Hey, yeah, I ain't say that either, Sutek. Um, they're not even united on the Asian front. Like the Asian community, the Asian world community, is not united like that anyway. To be saying like between the Japanese and the Chinese, between the Mongolians and the Chinese and everybody, the Mongolians tried to take over the world, right? Genghis Khan, his peoples, terrorizing the Chinese. Like Japanese and the Chinese have a long history of where like the Japanese damn near starved entire China. You know what I'm saying? With their invading in the wars and stuff, and then the Japanese fighting against the Mongols themselves as well. Like it bro, they hate each other. Koreans don't like it being mistaken for Japanese, rightfully so, and vice versa. But their languages and cultures have parent languages and root cognates and things of that nature. Very similar characters used, branching off of each other, Japanese off of Chinese, with a few less thousand characters as the baseline. Like, come on, bro. Like, y'all not even united, but we want to stop the Asian hate. All black people ain't united either, but y'all talk about us for not being united. Yet y'all have dark history as well. Oh, where we at?
Nah, man, that was all of them, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Juju, I figured you had your phone in your pocket or something.
They ain't see that butt timed out demo. Hey, that's some talent there.
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Figured I say it. Got that.
She said he in Chinese. Oh man, you better not be. Yeah, man, but it's real though, man. We gotta focus on our people first, man. I can't muster up the concern for Asians when my people been done a certain way. Like I don't start it here in America. I started our discrimination and our oppression before we got on that boat. You know what I'm saying? So they haven't went through anything near what the black man and the black woman in America had to go through. I can't fix my mouth to say stop Asian hate when we ain't even properly addressed and took action on the black hate. not only from the European, but from the Asians themselves. So I'm in compliance.
Yeah, kicking the Africans out of China during, all last year, all that stuff. But now y'all all in China digging and investing in you know what I mean, real estate developing and all that. So our economics is good enough for y'all to come in there and dig and set up, real estate development. But we can't live in your country and work in your country as pure. I'm talking about the pure, not the ones that's, the Blasian community. Not saying that in a derogatory sense, but that's what it is. It's a Blasian, of all those that are mixed. That's cool, no problem. I'm even if you want to intermarry and all of that, do whatever you do, live your life, because that's the African way, is letting you do you, right? Long as you ain't trying to come over here and make me do what you're doing, and as long as you be respectful with what you're doing. Just like me, I'm not going to force you to do what I'm doing, and I'm not going to extend myself to where I'm overshadowing, overlapping, and trying to push you out the way. But don't like have that double standard. You got to be consistent. Purebred Africans, like straight from Senegal, should be able to stay at a hotel in Singapore without being kicked out during the pandemic and told to go back to Dakar. That's not cool.
We must be wrapping up. All right, let me go through these comments.
And then come in. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to help somebody get Zoom working.
And Brother Tariq said, you already know the solution is from the Moorish perspective. How how was that, brother?
I seen that earlier, Sutek. I wasn't gonna break the bill to address it, but I'm glad you came back to it.
Let me add to the bill. You wanna hop on and add to the bill, bro? No problem. Let me throw the link out there.
All right, it's round two.
Man, here we go getting dropped off in yester minutes history. Like, bro, all of that is like the last 5 minutes worth of history if history was an hour. Come on, man.
Bro, I'm just trying to I'm trying to figure out like why are we, and we do this to ourselves all the time. We're so receptive to other people's plights. We're so receptive to what other people got going on. Like we won't change that for nothing. Like, ah man, we see that's wrong. Ah man, why they doing y'all like that? The whole time we sitting over here leaking blood in the middle of the street, and then the first thing they want to say is, well, that's black on black crime. That's systemic. That's systemic, right? Because if you change the opportunities, you decrease the amount of crime. That's the only reason that we get half these motherfuckers in the street is because of our lack of opportunities for themselves. And then once they get that first conviction, it's a wrap. Then they stuck in the system and they think that's all they know. And some of them don't even, they so like Harriet Tubman said, like, you could free more. I could have freed more slaves if you know what I'm saying, if they only knew better. So that's what we're looking at. But these Asian people, they're not facing the same struggles, bro. They're not. I seen Asian dudes who hustled. They had the grass. You know what I'm saying? Or they had different type of drugs, hard drugs, right? They were running dry cleaners in the front and in the back. You can get the sack. You know what I mean? Like, I knew them like that. And the parents knew what their kids was doing, but the parents ain't saying nothing. They got a code. They stick to it. They stick to it. They don't know nothing. They won't even speak the language when it come down to it. So it's a whole wrap for them because they value and uphold those laws and those codes, but they still look at us weird and funny because they looking at it as okay, that's where some of the extra money that we sending back to our families back home, that money going like that. So they really ain't truly got a problem with some of the stuff. Like, they live above us. They're a class above us, but they're a minority among us. But they're think about that, what I just said. They're a class above us, but a minority among us. But I see we got a Bay on the panel. I thought
Yeah, go ahead and speak your piece, bro.
Peace, brothers. Honors for having me on. Um, Basically, there's a couple things I heard that I wanted to put my 2 cents in on. Is saying Asian is a very generic term. That's the same as saying African. No Asians aren't united, but Chinese are united. Japan's united because nationality is the order of the day. It always, that's the days and times we living in. So, that's like saying Africans aren't united. No, but Ghanaians are united though. It's going to be on a nation level to think that there will be a united whole continent is just not taking into consideration human nature. One of our main issues for us over here, and I did really like what y'all said about, just stop hate, period. Just be a good person to be. And I think that's one of the main issues with the so-called conscious community is most of what, there's been a lot of good that comes out of it. But at the same time, a lot of our people need religion, man. That's the only way they have discipline in their lives. Take that how you want, consider that a negative, whatever. But I look at the end result, man. What's fruitful for you? If comedic teachings or whatever, what I mean, whatever lane you choose to be in, if that helps you be a better person and rock with it. We too busy trying to tear each other's uh, belief systems and religious systems down instead of, uniting uniting where it counts. We have to get to the point where everything we need, we provide for ourselves when it comes to food, medicine, employment, etc. If we have to ask other ethnicities, other nationalities to employ us, to heal us when we're sick, to feed us, we're always going to be losing. We have to get to the point of self-sufficiency. What people call white supremacy is really functional unity. They're not fighting each other over who they pray to or whatever. They just know if one of theirs is applying for a job and another ethnicity is applying for a job, they're going to put one of theirs on most likely. And for you to get that job over him, you have to have some real solid credentials and be elite in your field almost. You know what I'm saying? That's just common sense. So we got to get off that, get out of this victim mentality, man. As much as we've gone through in this country, we put other people through all throughout history, man. We've only been on the short end of the stick the last 200-300 years or whatever. Prior to that, man, we had our boots on the world neck. You can't have
when did we have our boots on the world neck? We didn't even care about the rest of the world.
How do you think, for just a random example, Tutmos, I believe it was the third. He had kings sending their daughters to him just to be his concubines, bro. You don't establish these global empires like that without spilling blood.
So let me ask you this. So you went to Tutmos, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So is it not true that other people also sent daughters and or certain slaves to other kingships and other cultures and traditions as concubines?
What's your point?
My point is that that's a moot point. That's irrelevant in this discussion.
No, what I'm saying, I said that to say
Yeah, because
basically.
you don't got to be a world power to have that done. You was insinuating that you have to be a world dominant power to have somebody send their daughter to you. Like that was common
To
practice in
be a
those days.
concubine, though. To be a concubine, not
Yeah,
to
that
be.
was common practice, though.
If
That was
it's a
common
king,
practice.
for a king to send his daughter, that should be princess marrying
Common,
into
man, look,
royalty.
that was common practice in monarchical society. Your daughter was
Okay, bro.
a tool. She wasn't in that you really, what I'm saying, in them days. Like it
Kings
wasn't.
wasn't marrying their daughters off the paupers, bro. They had to be going to
Have
some other
men
royalty.
have men always married off their daughters though? In certain societies, do we not have a
That's how
history
you
of
build relationship. That's how you build relationship, man.
right?
Exactly. You build relationships with that. But
Right. So I'm saying the
my
same
point.
thing. You ain't got to be a world power to have that done.
All right. We can get off that. We're gonna have to agree to disagree on that. My point
All right.
is, we are well aware that we've had several empires throughout history. You do not have an empire and become world powers without spilling blood, without dominating other people. We enslave Europeans. We've enslaved each other. We've dominated the world up until recent history, till 1492.
I disagree.
And what instance are you talking about we enslaved Europeans?
The Moorish Empire.
No,
Oh man, see,
That's
stop,
where
no,
Slav.
stop.
Where you think Slav comes from, man? Nah, it ain't no stop, bro.
no.
That's documented
You had
history,
nothing to
brother.
do with Slav. The word Slav come from Europeans enslaving the
Other
Slavics
Europeans.
their own. That had nothing to do with us. We wasn't enslaving. We didn't go anywhere. You can't show me in any history,
White gold is the
African
name of the
world
book.
history, you can't show me any evidence of Africans leaving the continent to go enslave another people and bring them back and have them serving and or doing certain things. The only thing that you're going to be able to show me is when people went to war and they brought back slaves. You're not going to show Africans
What's
leaving
the
the
difference?
continent to go enslave other people. You're not going to show us going all the way up in Europe. You're not going to show us going all the way to Asia. You're not going to show us going all the way in the Middle East, some dang on where by India. That's not history. We had no purpose or reason for leaving the continent.
That was not. It wasn't the intent. Was not to just we gonna go enslave these people. But like as you said, when you win a war, that's what happened in those days, man. And we were winning the wars up until 1492.
What wars were we fight? Hold on, I just want to establish something real quick.
Okay.
Before, because you keep going to 1492. What world wars were we our ancestors? Whether you want to go to Kim or not, what wars were our ancestors fighting in the first century, second century, third century, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth? We wasn't fighting no wars.
Carthage versus Rome. That's not us. That's not a war.
That wasn't our business.
That's not our business.
So Hannibal Barca is not.
Hannibal is not our business.
Hannibal was a Phoenician. Am I correct?
Yes. And we are the Phoenicians, brother.
No, we're not.
Oh.
Okay, dog. Oh, I forgot. Y'all come on, man. Y'all can't be serious, right? Y'all telling me we're not we not.
Yeah, we the Spearmans.
The Carthaginians, the Phoenicians, etc. was not so-called black people?
No.
No.
Okay, man.
What reason do we have to feel this way?
Where's Carthage at?
North Africa.
Thank you.
But who
So
are the hold on. So watch this. So now let's play the game.
First we Africans, but then Carthaginians. Real quick. First, you're saying do y'all say we're Africans?
So
or do you
if
limit
allow me,
yourself to sub-Saharan?
hold on, bro, because I had started the build. Now I sat back and everybody else been chiming in, and I've been quiet. So this is how we're gonna do this over here. We're gonna be respectful, right? Or things can get real spicy like a 9-piece round this mamma jamma. Okay? So I'm gonna let you build, and the other brothers let you build, and you're gonna be respectful, bro. Now, as I was saying, just because some people up in North Africa, that don't mean they are the same. And we still on this conversation about sub-Saharan Africans and the cultures and traditions that are universally in Africa. And then we have in the northern part what's known as the Sahara, which means desert, right? You have a mixture of people that are interbreeding and mixing in and coming from outside of Africa, settling in, and now anybody up there, we want to call them indigenous Africans. No. You know what I'm saying? No, it don't work like that, bro. Just because they up there in North Africa doesn't mean they share the same cultural practices and traditions as people in sub-Saharan Africa. It's a different kind of ball game. So just because they up there, they don't make, you know what I'm saying? They don't make that us. So when we bounce around like this, because we started off with Asian hate, now we talking about how we have to identify who we are because we confused about who we are.
Yeah, I thought the brother was coming on here to talk about the Asian hate. We done veered off into a whole nother. No, that ain't
Nah,
even
nah,
what
it's
we was
all
talking
good. It's all good. Let it get spicy.
about. I'm just saying it ain't gonna go nowhere though, because you know where he at with it. You know where we at with it. Like it ain't
Right.
going. That ain't got nothing to do with age. You know, I just don't. But I mean, Laura, let me ask the brother Taharka Bang is. This may
Tariq
have.
Bey, brother. Tariq Bey.
Sorry, Tariq Bay. My bad, Tariq Bay. This may have been a trigger word. Do you consider yourself an Asiatic black man,
Asiatic. I'm not black.
or just Asiatic? My bad, Asiatic. So stop Asian hate may be saying stop the Asiatic hate. Could that be, could that have been a trigger word for you or something? I don't know. I'm asking.
No,
It's a
no, not
genuine
at
question.
all. Not at all. Because I know what y'all talking about, man. I don't get that deep into semantics to twist that and
Okay.
be triggered by that, brother. I know you're
Okay.
talking about our people, but since you brought that up, like, are you brothers familiar with the Japanese contributions to the? I'm not super well versed. I'm vaguely familiar with the Japanese contributions to the civil rights movement. Y'all should look into that if you haven't. I could definitely do some more research. But my main point is we have to take care of ourselves, be self-sufficient, and produce everything we need. And once we get to that point, we'll get the respect of the rest of the world. We won't even have to worry about it. We just need to provide for ourselves and protect ourselves. Let Chinese people been doing that. Japanese people been doing that. We need to get caught up on doing that. We're behind. So far as just worrying about the plight of Asian people, like we got to take care of home first.
But you have a problem with the term Asian. But you say you Asiatic, so I'm
No,
confused,
no,
bro.
hold on, T'Challa. He said he wasn't on that. He said he wasn't getting caught up in the semantics. You know
Well,
what I'm
here,
saying?
no, let the brother make his point. Let the brother ask his
Well,
question. I
I
ain't tripping.
don't want him to go down a path that you said you wasn't talking about. You know, that's my brother. I'm not about to have him jumping out a tree if he ain't got to. You feel me? Without a parachute. I'm
Well,
saying,
my point was because you said, "Am I triggered by Asiatic?" And but I knew you brothers didn't mean Asiatic. Y'all talking about Chinese, Japanese people, so on and so forth, Philippines, et cetera, et cetera.
right.
So my issue is deeper, though, brother. To clarify, not to go down the surface level, because I'm when it comes to like language and from a language perspective, that's the way I view most of these conversations anyway, from that lens. So I be coming from the perspective of what term can we designate? Because you said you're not black, brother, but I'm pretty sure sample, a DNA test will come back and let you know what you are and where your genetics come from. You know what I'm saying? But I know a lot of people don't get off into that. They don't like to deal with DNA because it's fake, or they just don't want to subscribe to it. So my thing is, well, what can we use as a tool to measure what data to classify what we are? Because the term black don't work, and the term Asiatic is I'm not triggered by that, or I don't really get off into that. So then how do we define what we are if we're not black, if we're supposed to be Phoenicians, and we're supposed to be North African? So I'm just a little bit confused. What are we and what aren't we?
It's rather simple, and I don't say that in a condescending way at all. I say that because it's to me, it's not to me. It is a fact. We are Moors. Here's how it works. We're currently citizens of the United States of America. So that's our nationality, is United States citizen. But our ethnicity is Moor. It's and that's not coming from an emotional or religious, et cetera, et cetera. That is from a historical, a political, and a strategic standpoint. It is the most advantageous identity that truly applies to our people.
You do
Call it,
know that Moor, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you do know that Moors is not an ethnic identity, right?
I know the opposite to be true. It is an ethnic identity, brother. If you contact the Census Bureau, like you can put more on all your records, but what you will be considered, and I already know how I'm not going to assume the reaction this is going to get, but per Federal Directive 15, once you clarify and correct the record that you are more, you are then considered by Federal Directive 15 to be white, because they consider that North Africa, which in the United States of America simply equates to first class citizen, basically.
You mean Caucasian, not
No,
white.
white.
Okay, boy. Still, I can see that how that makes sense because when they refer to Moor in 2021, they're talking about Moroccans. So these Moroccans, these indigenous Moroccans are Berbers. There's other people in Morocco, but I'm speaking on the indigenous Moroccans. They are Berbers. And they aren't sub-Saharan Africans. They aren't me and you. They are
Brother.
closer to Europeans than they are to me and you. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut it. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't trying to cut you off either, brother. I don't limit myself to sub-Saharan Africa, brother. Our people traveled and covered the entire globe, man. I just, I don't limit myself to that. I have a hard time just using common sense and reasoning from my perspective to think that the first, like these highly civilized people just stayed where they were at. I just, I just have a hard time agreeing with that. So I can't limit myself to that. And that's actually another facet of that, and that's playing into strategies of Europeans distorting history, trying to take the history of the Nile Valley away from us by limiting us to sub-Saharan Africa.
Hey, brother, let me ask you a question. So,
Okay.
I'm really versed in coastal West Africa, like Guinea, Ivory
Okay.
Coast, Mali, that area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And brother, with our traditions right over there, with these drums that I'm into, with the languages that I study, with the songs that I sing, with the traditions and rituals and naming ceremonies that I follow, um, something, brother, we don't talk about being Berbers. In fact, I can't find not one griot song that talks about being a Berber. I can't find one djembe rhythm that's played for being a Berber, that's played for being a North African, a Moroccan, anything, a Phoenician, a Carthaginian, a Hannibalan. None of that is in those traditions. Again, specifically what used to be known as the Malian Empire, around roughly the year 1000. We're talking King Sunjata Keita overthrowing King Sumaru. Um, there's a lot going on right there with that story and that epic. Not to mention the many other stories around that the griots tell the song and play the harp, or the kora, I should say, play the balafon, right? And these various other instruments to be able to communicate the history and the customs of that area of West Africa, of the greater Mande ethnic group. So the meta ethnicity of the Mande people, we're talking Serer, we're talking Mandinka, we're talking Wolof, Susu, Guro. These people, we have nothing in our traditions that talks about cultures, customs, and traditions of said North Africans. None of that. Like, I don't find it, bro. So you say our people are these people and we're not limited. It's not about being limited. Africa is big. So just within the forest, within the Wula of the Guru people, you don't have to leave that forest and you will have everything you need to sustain yourself. The Masi of the Masi, you know what I'm saying? What the Masi warrior clan is named after. They lived in the forest and they was chilling. They don't have to leave the forest. So I beg to differ on a few of your points. I'm not going to sit up here like every other live stream and just point you out and say you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I'm going to say that I have evidence of the contrary of what you're saying on those specific points.
I'll respect that. Here's what I'll say. You're more, and I'll give you your credit, brother. Honest for your indulging yourself in those cultures to that level. I'll say this. I'm gonna like you're approaching it from a more microscopic view. I'm looking at it at a broad view. And I'll admit that. And what I'll say is from my studies, okay, it's like this. From the what city you from, brother?
Bro, I'm from Chi-Town, and real quick,
Okay.
let me clarify something. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
indulging in cultures that's not my own, which is no problem with that. I do
That's
that.
fair.
But I'm just letting you know that those cultures are also my cultures and my traditions, because I have
Okay.
that blood running through my veins.
Yeah, and I wasn't challenging that at all, brother. I wasn't implying that. Um, so when you travel in the United States, they would say you're a Chicagoan, or they really say that's the cat from Illinois, right?
Right. They call me Chi-Town wherever I go.
For sure, for sure. So that, from my perspective, is the equivalent of your tribe. But once you leave the United States, like when you're in your country, you're Shatan. You're not. But as soon as you step out, I'm from Kansas City, so I'm a Kansas. People from other places will say that's Kansas City, that's a Kansas within the United States. But as soon as I leave and if I travel to Europe or one of the countries in Africa or whatever, they're going to call me an American. And that is how we used more. More would have been on the level of American versus my tribe amongst my people back home. That would have been equivalent to Kansas.
But
You
you
follow me?
see, I don't have a problem with that, brother. But again, we don't have anything in our traditions talking about being part of a larger. I get the connection you tried to draw, but once again, brother, ain't nothing about Mandinka culture that subscribe. We don't even have a word for that in the language, bro. Like
Word for
nobody,
what?
no, we don't have a word or concept for being. The Mandinka do not call themselves anything other than the specific Mandinka that they are from the village or wherever. They don't designate themselves by being a part of a larger sort of
Hey man,
nationality.
you being too sweet, bro. Just keep it real. Listen, Tariq, you can call yourself first. You got a committee you name that's Tariq, and then you added the Bay on there, which makes absolutely no sense. But not
I'm
to
sorry.
disrespect
Repeat
you as
that,
a
brother. Can
person.
you say that again, fam?
Okay, Tariq. You know who Tariq is, correct? Who's Tariq?
The Moorish general that led the Moors invaded Spain in 711, who
Yeah,
Are
Tariq
you sure?
Raqqa
that's what
Jabbar
Tariq
was
he
named
talking about.
after. For
Are
sure.
you sure?
Who Dr. Ben said was an African man, brother. Go ahead.
Huh? Huh? Robert Rand, you're on mute. Hold
Said
on.
All Africans ain't black.
no Africans are black. You're not black until you get enslaved.
Nah, bro, you black. You Negro. Negro just
Nah, man. Don't
translation
Is
of
call
this
me
a
black.
a slave,
class?
brother. Don't call
Is
me
this
a
a class?
slave, brother.
Is this
I
a
would
classification?
You acting like one.
I would say you wouldn't be called a Moor until you was enslaved.
That
Exact.
is
Bam.
okay. Let's break this down then real quick.
See,
Let's
you
break
got to
this
stop
down.
the black hate. You got to stop the black hate.
No, it
See,
has
this is
nothing to do
exactly
with
why
hate.
we doing this show, because you hating on black.
I'm not hating on black. I'm
You
stating
just
facts.
did. You just said you just called us slaves, bro. You just
it
called
equates.
Robert Rand. You on mute, bro. Unmute your microphone.
Robert Red going
Make me-
off, bro. Unmute, bro.
Don't make
Yo,
me kick you out.
can I put my 2 cents in?
Oh, no, hold on, Tariq. Just hold on. Hold on for me. Okay. So let's do this. Let's be clear. All right. This is the Stop the Black Hate show, and you just hated on black because you equated it to slavery, which would then mean that you're doing the exact thing that we need to stop doing, equating it to slavery. When we say black, bro, we are specifically identifying with the fact that we are sub-Saharan Africans. We are from West Africa. We are using colorisms to distinguish ourselves from other people who may have the same shade of skin tone, but who are not sub-Saharan African.
Tariq, may I ask Tariq a question?
Go ahead, Robert. I was waiting on you to come back.
All right. Yo, Tariq, was your mother and father also identified as Moors, or did they identify themselves as Moors?
No, they were born and identified out of being miseducated as black.
Okay, so let me ask you, what Moorish culture did we retain or did we bring over from, as you say, Mauritania? We come from Mauritania, according to you, right? We originated in Mauritania, right?
Northwest, Southwest Africa.
Okay,
Most
so
recently, right? That's where we were taken from.
No.
The ones.
Oh,
hold
yeah?
on, let me finish. You asked me where I'm saying we come from. Let me be clear. The ones that got here via transatlantic slave trade were taken from Northwest and Southwest Africa. And there were some of us already in the Americas.
And those are Moors, you said, right? We were Moors. We called ourselves Moors. And so what material culture did we bring over as far as us being Moorish? What Moorish culture did we bring over here from Mauritania?
Brother, they were stripped of their culture. But
Really?
Islam was part of that. I don't have a list I could break down to you, but we know how that went down, bro. They
No, we
were
don't.
prosecuted
No,
for practicing their culture, man. Like
we don't know because you
they
said that
got
we're
stripped of their
Moors.
culture, bro.
I'm sorry. So why is it that we still retain material cultures from West Africa?
If whatever you break, okay. Again, like I said before, those were Moors in West Africa. But what their practices were broken down to a tribal level. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Hey, brother.
So you keep your tribe.
Hey, brother Tariq, let me add, since you just said we were Moors in West Africa, can you show me any of these West African tribes from below the Sahara calling themselves Moors?
Hey, Robert Rand really daggered him though. Shout out Robert Rand really daggered him because he said we came over here with West African practices, and Buddy said we were stripped of our Moors, but like how we know West Africa but don't know Moors? Like he need to answer that question.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting on.
What I'm saying is that's the same thing. That's the same thing.
Brother, what language? Okay, so which one of what Mandinka word that equivalates to more? Like, show me the Mandinka
I
word.
don't know Mandinka language, brother.
Okay, well, what I'm saying, you talk about this, who we are here in America via this trans-African kidnapping hustle, i.e. the 1400s, right? Okay, what I'm saying is, brother, that I could take you back on a journey throughout dance, throughout language, words, music, the church, blues, ragtime, Miles Davis, Duke Ellington, Coltrane, all of those that influenced them, and that musical nuance is part of that West African experience, and
The
we
food we
express
eat,
ourselves. So
Which
what
yep.
I'm
was the
saying is,
Moroccan
there's
The way
Empire.
we
nothing.
dress, the way we wear our clothes, our swagger is all West Africa. That's all Africa right there. So I need to know what from Mauritania that we retain in
The
terms of their culture.
The Moroccan Empire encompassed more than just Mauritania and Morocco. It was the whole northwestern Africa.
What time period, bro? Because we don't talk about no Moroccans. I'm telling you right now. That's why I keep going so hard on this point, because you touching on, like I said, these are my customs and traditions as an African that I speak from, and you're claiming something about my traditions and customs that don't exist, bro. You're what you're doing is being very disingenuous and very racist white supremacist with your claims. You're saying that
Okay.
my cultures and customs and traditions have these names and things attached to them that they don't. And I keep being specific, and you want to get to the macrocosm, but the macrocosm don't exist without the microcosm, because it takes the quantum realm to exist before the standard physical realm can exist. So therefore, I'm addressing the subatomic particles of said cultures that you can't observe because you don't know nothing about. And I'm telling you that we don't say nothing about Morocco or no Moors, bro. So let me know, where is it in the quantum realm, in the microcosm of West Africa, that we Berbers and Moors in Mauritania and Morocco? Because I don't find it.
And by the way, Tariq, you're talking to brothers that wrote books. These brothers that you're talking to on the panel, those brothers got at least 5 books written. So they're not conjecturing like you're doing. You're guessing. These brothers have done extensive research. So I don't know if that might factor into what you're talking, the way you disseminating your information, but you're just basically guessing and conjecturing, man.
No, it's not guessing. I don't claim to be a scholar, a historian, a super scholar, none of that. I do my studies, and I'm more of a businessman and a man that seeks freedom for my people and self reliance and self sufficiency for my people.
But you're
So
confused
I'm
because your
sure.
people. You
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
all right.
I'm sure y'all can, and y'all have already displayed. Y'all can go down to minute details about this tribe and that tribe, right? And I don't say
What
that
tribe?
as
Wait. What tribe are you talking about, bro? We never identify ourselves as tribes. We don't come from
the
tribes.
the tribes that have been mentioned, man. The brother just said Wolof. He named off a few tribes, brothers. That's what
Those
I'm
are not
talking about.
tribes, brother. Those are peoples. Those are not tribes. They never called themselves tribes. That's a European word.
So is
Hello?
black.
Okay,
Anyways.
fine. No problem. I have no
So we're
problem with
gonna
that.
play what's a European word and what's not, and not get
No,
to the
we're
actual
talking about
intent of the
specifically the
conversation.
word tribe. But my point being is that you are identifying as something that you cannot prove. So it makes no
There's
difference whether
plenty of
you're a
proof for
historian or
Moors,
not.
brother. I could just
You're
look in the dictionary and tell you we Moors, brother. It's right in the dictionary.
but you don't live
Oh, really?
a Moorish culture. You don't have the Moorish
I
language.
don't.
Like, what are
You
you
don't know
talking
me,
about?
fam. How you telling me what culture I live? You don't know me, brother. You don't know my
Okay,
day-to-day
so tell us
rituals and
about it then.
routines.
So tell us about it then. Tell
Hey,
us about your
remember,
Moorish
Bay,
culture,
we lost all our culture when we came across the boats. Remember? You said that at the beginning.
yeah, Mr. Moore.
That's why we call ourselves black, right? It's obvious we
Yeah.
lost our culture.
We
That's
don't
why we call
necessarily call
ourselves
ourselves
black.
black.
You
I
adhere
mean,
to
we
the
We know
My
who
dictionary
we
point.
term
are.
of more, but you
We
don't
know.
adhere to the dictionary term of being black. I'm confused once again, brother. Where's the consistency? How can we look to the dictionary to define more and define that that's you, but we look to the
Mhm.
dictionary and the word black doesn't equate to, like, you said that black means slave. Is that what
It
the
equates to
dictionary says?
slave in the legal system in the United States of America.
Okay,
It
so what
equates to slave.
what dictionary are we talking about when we start throwing around dictionaries? Because when we talk about dictionaries for defining words, we generally
Hmm.
aren't talking about any sort of law like that. We're talking about like a Merriam-Webster's, Oxford, right?
Hmm.
That's what we're talking about, and we're not finding that black means slave.
You won't find that spelled out in a regular dictionary, brother. You have to look at case law. You have to look at legal dictionaries.
That doesn't apply to 2021.
It does. It definitely does. We see it play out in the real
If
world
it
with
did,
the
the
difference
dictionary
in the
would still say
system.
that.
Well,
So you on this hangout, like Sister C, peace to you, Sister CK.
Oh,
Uh,
peace. I come
Peace,
to
CK.
cause all kind of
man,
trouble.
Peace, Sister CK.
Peace to the panelists. Peace to the chat. I'm just waiting to get at good brother Bay because I got questions.
go
oh,
in.
go ahead.
Let the Queen Mother go.
It's going to be very interesting. I was going to make us go back to the original topic, but just to have a little bit of fun, I find it extremely questionable and red flag when good brother Tariq Bey says that, I forgot what he said. He said, when Robert Rand asked him, hey, what culture did we retain? We were always Moors. He said, oh, we lost it during slavery. But yet you seem to have all of this culture all of a sudden. So I'm assuming that it was made up, afterwards. And then you said, oh, it's Islam. Well, you finna get daggered right there because Islam was not something that was always practiced in Africa. That was brought over by the Arabs. But why I really wanted to get on the panel is it was something that you said when you first came on, and I don't want to misquote you. So I want to see if I can get you to repeat it. And hopefully, good brother Sean is in the chat because I dropped some sources I want him to show on the screen. It was something that you said about the census in regards to more. You said that we can put, let me rephrase, I don't want to say what you said. I want to ask, did you say something along the lines of that we can put more on the census and
That's correct.
it'll be counted as a what again? Did you say it was as race or as ethnicity?
That's your ethnicity. Your nationality is like. Do you have anyone that has a passport can look on their passport and see where it says nationality? It'll say United States. So our nationality is
Mhm.
United States. Your ethnicity would be so when you if you were to choose to correct the record, your ethnicity would then be more. Did that answer your
Okay.
question?
I'm assuming that Sean is not here. Sutek, can I send it to you instead?
Did that answer your question, sister?
Oh, I just wanted to make sure I didn't mishear you. That's all.
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
Sutek.
I'll take that as a yes.
All right, I'm
We
gonna
want
send
to
it.
let me say this real quick. Let me say this real quick. To imply that me stating the fact that we were not called Negro, Black, or any of that until slavery is being racist and hating my people is false, disingenuous, and disrespectful. It's a fact of history. We weren't called Negro until Spain, Spanish people and Portuguese slave traders raided Northwest Africa, and the people they took were the label Negro was put on them. If
Hey,
you
bro,
know,
do you know the word what it's do you speak Spanish? Are you
yes,
familiar with
I'm not.
Spanish?
I don't speak Spanish. I'm familiar.
Uh,
Now,
so
I'm
so
glad you brought that up.
so I mean, how do you say black in Spanish?
Negro, but they don't call people Negro. They would
Uh
call you Moreno, fam.
um
They would call you Moor. They would call you
I
Moreno.
disagree. I disagree. I speak Spanish, bro.
If
I
they call you
disagree with him
Negro,
too.
Hold
I
on. Let me
totally
say hold on.
disagree with you.
Let me say something to you, bro, because I speak Spanish and I'm very, very entrenched with the Latin community from the West Coast, like Southern California area, states in between, all the way to Chicago, because I got people on the West Coast, right? But I'm born and raised primarily in Chicago. But I do have, you know what I mean, roots out there as well. And I've been speaking Spanish all my life. And so you can be derogatory or
Me
not.
too.
And right, so it's many people who are involved. That's why the whole like the language aspect of this conversation really confuses me, bro. Because we get, if we really want to go in, we wouldn't even, you know what I'm saying? Like you have a problem with the word negro, right? That means black in another language, a sister twin language of the language that we all speak and share right now. So first of all, we would have to say that black or negro automatically equates to slave. We would have to go into all of those other languages and go into their etymologies and say that that's true for them as well, which we can't do that. We can take a term and associate it and attach it, you know what I mean, because we were a people of darker hue, and the color, the hue, that color has a word in the language. And so you just like white is not a color. Like people aren't white, but we call them white people, right? But we understand what we're talking about. Negro just means black. So to say that it meant slave, that's not true, bro. Not when you don't speak the language.
I didn't say it means slave. It equates to slave
What is
hold on, brother. Let me
Y'all done
speak.
let
I
these
let you
folks
build.
take us all the way around the world, man. We was talking about stop the black hate, and we didn't get on Moors.
Oh no, I'm gonna bring this back. It's a
Because
work in progress.
because to stop the black hate is to proclaim your nationality and
You
your true
was hating on
ethnicity.
us black people, bro.
I'm not, bro. I
Just
got
did.
nothing
You
against
calling us
you. I'm not
slaves,
hating on
yo.
you. I wish you all the success in the
You
world,
just
fam.
called us slave. You
No,
just
I
called us
said
slave.
you're
You just
calling
said the
yourself.
word black equates to slave.
It
Come
does.
on,
That is
bro.
a
Stop
historical
dancing and
fact.
playing.
That is a
I don't
historical
like
fact.
Moors.
Wait a
I don't
minute.
like
Hold
Moors.
up.
I have a problem with
Historical
anybody
fact.
I
call
have a
himself a
quick
Moor.
question. Wasn't the Moors, weren't they slaves to the Arabs? Because they were using
Yes,
them
they
people as
were.
like their front soldiers to do their dirty work. So let's not forget that either.
Hey,
But
Taharka.
Sean, I
See,
am so glad that you're back. I have two sources I would like to show to good brother Bay, and then I'm gonna bring it back to the original point. I don't know if you
one
saw it. I
one of
sent the
our
Sutek because I
one of
thought
the
you were
problems
MIA.
one of the problems with our
Taharka.
people is we want to try to act like our people ain't have blood on their hands or didn't make mistakes.
Taharka.
We got blood on our hands and we made mistakes through our history.
Yeah,
And
stealing other people's
Don't
culture.
change the goalpost.
listen,
You see those
no,
books
I'm
that
not.
them
I'm
brothers
not.
wrote,
I'm not
Tahaka?
because just like quit calling me Taharka, brother. It's Tariq, man.
Well, whatever your name is, it don't matter to me. Do you see the literature
If he
that I
wants to
just
be
showed you?
called.
Okay, so now we getting disrespectful, bro. That's what we doing.
That's me. You can put it on me. I'm
I
being
will.
disrespectful.
Who is that? Who
My
is
name
that?
is
Robert
Tarak.
Rand. Robert Rand. That's who.
Okay,
I just
that's what's
showed you
up.
the literature that these brothers wrote. You're just talking nonsense, yo. You don't know what you're
I'm
talking
talking
about.
facts, brother.
And
I'm
it's
talking
frustrating.
facts. You ain't no brother of
Give
mine,
us,
fam.
okay, since you're talking facts,
I'm talking
present
facts.
some primary
It equals
sources for
slave,
us.
bro.
Give us some primary sources for your stupid information. Because you're pissing
Look
me
up,
off.
look
Because
up
you're running your
Dungy versus
fucking mouth.
Spencer. Look up Dungy versus Spencer. Your skin is brown. You calling yourself black. You're a dummy.
Hey, I have some sources that
Oh,
I
wow.
sent to both
Look up
Sutek
Dungy
and
versus Spencer,
Sean.
where
They can
Abraham
show it
Lincoln
on the
was a
screen.
lawyer, and he put on, and it's on record that to be a Negro is a crime. Look
You
up,
got to
look
be the
up,
dumbest
look up the
motherfucker
slave
I've ever
laws.
met.
Look up
I'm gonna
the
mute out.
Negro
'Cause
laws
I'm gonna
of
start
South
cursing this
Carolina.
dude out. I'm
Look
gonna
up the
mute
Negro
out.
laws of South Carolina.
Which one
It
is that
says,
one? Oh,
it
start
says
with the
to
other
turn
one
black.
first.
Brother Tariq, hold on a second.
You want to go with this one first, Utek?
Hey man, your man disrespectful, bro. This internet stuff where people on internet like talk any kind of way, man. Like this is crazy.
Yeah, I feel y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
So if y'all take a look at the lovely screen, I really appreciate good brother Sutek. We probably should have did the other one first, but it don't matter. This one right here is from Pew Research. The information that they're using from is from the census. This is actually pretty good. This is for you, good brother Tariq Bey. You said that we should use more as an ethnicity on the census. And of course, as you know, we did a census, what was it, last year? Yeah, sometime last year. And as you kind of scroll down there, Sutek, you'll see all the different ethnicities that they had on the census. You'll start seeing the different ethnic groups.
Can I say something real quick, sister? For clarity,
Working my way.
for clarity's sake, what I said was you can put more, but what the Census Bureau, if you contact the Census Bureau directly, they will tell you if you put more, they're going to put you as white.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's interesting.
That's very
You're
helpful
not
to
trying
black
to be
people.
black. You're trying
Because
to be white.
That's very
Because,
helpful to people that
listen,
look like
You trying to
you.
be white, ain't
real
you?
quick. No, I'm not
No,
trying. I'm
you're
trying
trying
to
to
be
be white.
me.
You trying
I'm
to
trying to be
run.
more.
You trying to run to the other side of the slave trade.
I'm trying to
I
be
got it.
alive, brother. I'm not trying
You
to be
trying to be on
white,
the
none of
good
that. I'm
side.
trying to be alive.
You trying to be on the
Okay.
good side of the slave trade. I see you trying to be a slave trader, not a slave.
That's a good assumption. That's a nice assumption you making.
No, that's exactly it. No, that's exactly it.
I
Because
told you
know
what they would
exactly
do.
how you trying to tie it up, bruh.
It's a caste system, fam. It's a caste system. Look
I
at
know you trying to get on the right side of the caste system.
Why not? Why not?
Huh?
It's chess, not checkers,
Because
brother.
you
Why
weak
not?
and you scary. You weak
It's
and you
chess, not
scary.
checkers. So for having
Hey,
strategy
You weak
and
and
using
you
law is
scary.
being weak.
I
And
just
is that
called
that
you
same
chat call. I just
Who-
called
Is that same brother?
Hey,
Nah,
relax.
that's a whole different
Relax,
brother.
everybody, relax.
Hey man,
It's all
look,
good.
Relax,
We don't even
everybody.
need to do all that, y'all. We're in the
Exactly.
process of daggering people. Stay in
Cats is
box.
emotional. Y'all cats is emotional. Y'all supposed to be conducted. See, maybe if you study some Islam, some Islamism, you know how to contain and control yourself and get out your passions like that, and not have to reduce the disrespect and be able to just articulate your points.
We got you, my good brother. So as you can see
Didn't
here,
you just call
the
somebody
source.
dumb? Didn't you just call somebody dumb though?
The same brother that had already disrespected me several times, fam. I'm not a pacifist. I'm not Jesus. I'm not turning the other cheek, fam.
Peace, God.
Yo, I just put you on the table. I'm not turning the other cheek either. I just put you on the table. I showed you what you was trying to do. You trying to run to the other side of the slave trade, and you just admitted it.
Yep.
No.
You damn sure did. You did admit it. You said that's what you're trying to do.
Listen, I want first-class citizenship. That's what we all should want. You'll never have it, and
You're not gonna get it like that.
What did he say?
You won't have it with black.
He wants first-class citizenship.
You heard him, huh?
Wow.
You're not gonna get it by making up an ethnicity, though.
Wait a minute.
Moors
You're
not
literally
made
making
up.
up an ethnicity out of thin air.
Can I
Guess
just
what?
say
I
something?
hope
Moors.
you
Oh,
understand, Brother Sutek. If you scroll down, there's a PDF there. When you click on that PDF, it's gonna take you to the census when they started adding all these other ethnicities to the census for people, because once you start getting an increased population of people that want to have representation, that starts to become a thing. If you sit up here talking about some more this and more that, all you're doing is just taking away from whatever benefits
What the hell is a
that
first
people
class
that look like you and me could potentially get, from these different programs, grants, and stuff like that they set up for our ethnic group. You got to realize our people have been fighting for a long time to just simply just get basic fucking rights. We ain't even asking for too much. We just asking to be treated like fairly. There is no program set up for things for the Moors to get in this country, but there are stuff set up for Black people to get, and people that are descendant of people from Africa. So the first link that I sent, Sutek, talks about the different races that you can select. And for you to be, even if you were to quote unquote say that you're Moor, you would still fall under the Black or African American category, because that falls under all the people that are below North Africa.
No,
Last time I checked, Mauritania, that's in sub-Saharan Africa.
What the hell is first?
You can keep saying all due respect all you want. That's how the U.S. Census views it, and that's how they're going to label it. So really, it defeats the purpose of you labeling yourself as this made-up ethnicity, when it's like, you could just label yourself as Black, so we can get more grants.
Okay, what is
and
a
more
first-class citizen, though? Can anybody tell me that? What the fuck is? Oh, excuse my language.
That good brother Unc coming through.
Yeah, what is a first-class citizen, though? I'm trying.
Y'all heard this nonsense? You heard this nonsense?
Something that he made up.
Hold on, everybody
The
relax
God
for a minute.
killers in the house.
Listen, everybody just relax for a minute. What in the hell is a first-class citizen? That's all I just need to know. I heard it, and I was like, what the hell is that? Bro,
So,
can you tell me what that is?
A first-class citizen is citizens that don't have to march and don't get mistreated and don't have to do all these things for basic human rights.
Okay,
freeze.
I seen a lot of Moors get locked up on that sovereign citizen bullshit.
Come on, just everybody freeze for a minute.
I'm not a sovereign citizen. I don't subscribe to that.
Man, come on.
But let me say this.
No, bro. I was in the middle of asking you something. Stop. Don't nobody dive in the conversation. Give me 5 seconds. Did you just not see white people storm the Capitol? I'm talking to you, bro.
And what was black people saying?
Wait a minute.
What was black people saying?
Hold on.
If they was black, what would have happened? Is what black people were saying, right?
No, you changed.
Wait a minute. We ain't black,
CK,
no, we
don't
Moors.
jump in it. CK, come on, yo.
I'm sorry.
Both can't do it. If you're gonna do it, and I'll get off. Because I know where I want to go at. You don't know where I'm driving right now. He already in the corner. Let me crash him into the wall, please. I don't need no help. Bro, did they not march to the Capitol, yo? Seriously.
Yes, they did. And it was so-called black people out there with them too.
No, hold on.
So-called black people out there with them too. Go ahead.
We working. So white people ain't even first-class citizens because they marched. You just said, well, we don't got none of that shit.
Come on, man.
Yeah. They feel like their rights were violated.
Let's use common sense here, right? Let's use common sense here, right? Let's use common sense here, right?
No, bro.
Was the civil rights movement for white people?
You gave me the rules, bro.
Come on, man.
Bro, I asked you a question. I said
that was in reference to the civil rights movement.
No, I said, what is a first-class citizen? And you explained it to me. And then
yes, I did. Now I'm giving you clarity.
No.
What I meant.
No, what happened was you got back into the corner. I want your mind to realize what you did.
I realize.
I'm trying to show you something that's real. Listen, I'm just trying to, as your brother. I don't care what you call yourself. You could be a Moor. If that's what you like to go by, then by all means. I'm not tripping off that. If you want to be a black Indian, then call yourself that.
Nah, Indian is just
okay. Listen. No, you know people will argue you down
designation about that. Also, fam.
No, but you know people will argue you down about that. If you want to be a black Hebrew Israelite, they're gonna argue you down. These points we can all agree on. Now let's get back to our citizenship. What we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I am telling you, regardless of whether you think you got the same rights as white people have,
I don't want to hear about they didn't shoot them when they stormed the Capitol. Okay, whatever. That's not the point we're making here. The point we're making here is very, very clear. You can't just make up your shit from the 1600s, yo. You in the 1600s right now. I'm not
No,
mad at you. I'm not
Moorish
mad at you.
nationality applies to
Listen,
this day,
bro.
fam.
Hey, bro, do you know how old are you, bro? Seriously.
37 years old.
Okay, you will be 75 years old saying the same thing. This, I promise you
No,
that.
no, sir.
Okay,
Y'all,
so your
y'all
achievement.
won't hear from me at 75. I'll
So
be ducked off.
You gonna be where?
Ducked off, leaving y'all to y'all own device.
I know where you gonna go. Where you going at?
To Moorish heaven.
No, come on, man. Don't jump in that shit. See, you being funny, yo. Man, come on, y'all, man. We having a good. Don't do that, man.
I'm sorry, Huggins.
Nah, man, I don't need y'all to bleed over into what I'm saying, yo. Where you going at, bro? Seriously, where you going at?
Man, that's neither here nor there.
No,
bro.
man, come on,
Listen,
dude. That's not fair, yo.
I'll let you. Build,
wait,
fam.
bro. Wait. Whoa.
Let me get a word in edgewise,
No,
brother.
but we talk. Hold on, we talking as brothers right now.
We take turns when we talk as brothers, right?
No, because you're gonna give me a whole bunch of malarkey right now. I asked a specific question. You said, you know what, dog? I'm not even gonna be here at 75. I said, okay, so where are you going? Right? Then you won't tell me that. It's a simple answer, Doug. I'm gonna be in Africa, I'm gonna be in Australia, I'm gonna be in Morocco. Like, let's be fair and honest. Where are you going at, bro?
That's neither here nor there, man.
All right, I'm done. See y'all later, man. So he's a fraud. Get him off the show. He's frauding right now. He's trying to get time on the mic.
Fraud.
He's not being honest.
Bro.
He's a fraud. You're frauding, bro, because you didn't even think about where you was going at yet. You could have said it. You should say, yo, I don't know where I'm going at. Yeah, I haven't figured it out yet. I'd rather you say that. Then there's neither here nor there. Just say, brother, actually, I haven't thought that far into the future. Then I'll say, okay. So we're not trying to be right. We're trying to learn something from each other.
Listen.
I'm gonna listen.
I'm not disclosing my plans like that on YouTube, brother.
So you going to a secret place now?
No. As far as what I'm going to say, you funny, man. You're a funny guy. I see how you do. Now you go to a secret place. I like that, bro.
Yeah, you going to a secret. Yeah, because now the government's gonna watch you.
I prefer confidential, fam.
Okay, so you are going to, wherever you go, there's going to be a government in place, yo. You're going to need a passport. You're going to need you're not going to run somewhere. You're going to need and you know what passport you're going to use? You're going to use the one you got in America, bro.
That's right.
Right. So
with that, hold
on for a minute.
My nationality is United. I'm a United States of America citizen. I'm not one of these sovereign citizen cats. Don't come to me with the sovereign citizen stuff.
I didn't call you that. That wasn't my conversation.
I'm stopping you while you're here, bro. Because you're talking about passport.
No, I'm not silly, yo. Matter of fact, yo, I'm like 10 steps ahead of you in this game we talking right now. I'm simply telling you the fact that you have a passport, then you should really just be quiet and relax because we all have the same things. You have nothing better than us, and you're just talking. Simple as that.
I never said I was better than y'all, brother. I didn't say I had better things than y'all, brother.
You have nothing. You just talking because you have a passport and you got to go through the same things we got to go through to get the passport. That's all I'm saying. So I'm saying we're in the same.
What's your point?
That you're the same dude. You just like everybody on here. I'm the Masi, I'm the Moor, I'm the Black Indian. We just a bunch of black brothers and sisters in America. For real.
First thing, let me say this real quick. And these brothers and sisters will tell you. First thing I said out my mouth when I came on here, and I didn't limit it to Moors. I didn't exclude nobody. I said us, right? Because I'm with you.
Said you're Asiatic.
Hold on. At the end of the day, whether you call yourself black, Moor, Hebrew, whatever.
We don't call ourselves Asiatic. We're not Asiatic.
That's fine.
You said you identified as Asiatic.
He can call himself
not Arab.
Yo, y'all gotta let that man come on.
I want to know what makes him Asiatic. That's what I want to know.
Man,
since he says he's an American citizen, I want to know what makes him Asiatic.
Because he feel Asiatic, yo. Just
it's a difference between your nationality and your ethnicity. Okay,
but
as I was saying, the first
your ethnicity is I'm sorry. Let me get clarity. Your ethnicity is Asiatic. Bro. Can I ask you that question one time, brother? Is your ethnicity Asiatic?
My ethnicity is Moor.
So where does the Asiatic part come in at?
Huh?
I want to know where you're Asiatic at. Is that your citizenship or is
That's
that your
part of my
nationality?
that's part of my religion, brother.
Yep. Because he's a Moorish American, yo. That's what I'm trying to
Wait a
tell you.
That's
minute,
part
that's
of my
confusing
religion,
as
brother.
So
I
fuck.
told you it goes back
Asiatic,
to
so wait,
religion,
wait.
yo.
Asiatic is a
Asiatic,
religion?
Asiatic,
Hell yeah, he's a
no,
Moorish
I
Asiatic
American.
is
said
not
it
a
earlier.
religion.
It goes
The
back to
term
religion.
originates in my religious text,
Yeah. Can you tell
referring
us what
to
that is?
being the
Circle
original
7,
man
right?
of the world, brother.
Circle 7, right,
Re-
brother? Circle
re-
7, am I correct?
real quick.
No,
It
hold on,
refers.
no. Circle 7, right?
That is correct.
All right, thank you. See, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, I got y'all about 5 years, yo. I
But
know where it's at.
listen. When I say Asiatic, that originates from religion. I
I know,
cannot
we
go
not
to
man.
a historical document and where it says we're Asiatic. That is a religious term.
No,
and
you're
we
right,
can
bro.
leave-
Bro, you got
and
the
that's
right to
my
practice.
freedom
Listen,
to
you got the
do
right to
that.
practice your religion. We
Thank
just
you.
saying you should have
Exactly.
started off with that, though. They probably wouldn't have argued with you
But
this
you
time.
know that that's contradictory to what you said earlier, right?
How so?
He doesn't know.
When the
He
dude
doesn't know.
asked you
But
when
it
the dude
very
asked
is.
you what you were, you said, "Hey, I'm a Moor," and he said,
Yeah.
and Robert Rand asked you, he said, "Hey, well, what did we retain from Africa when we came over here across the boat? Oh, well, we lost a lot. We lost everything due to slavery."
I
And
didn't
then you
say.
said, "Oh,
Well,
my religion." You said, "My
I don't think I
religion,"
said. I
and your
didn't think.
religion is Islam, and now you're saying that Islam is Asiatic. So basically, you pretty much now admitting that there ain't no African in you. Like you just completely adopting some other culture's like religion, and then trying to make it seem like it was always there in Africa when it wasn't.
Stop the black
And then you're
hate.
creating
I
a
did
random
not
ass ethnicity
say.
in New
Stop
York.
the black hate.
I did
The
not say
name of the show
Islam.
is Stop the Black Hate. And
But
what did he? What I told y'all when y'all
Said it
let the man
earlier.
on the panel, he was gonna hate on black.
Yeah, that's pretty hateful, my dude, to
He
sit up
did it
here
a
and try to label
roundabout way.
yourself
It was
more
very smooth.
and try to make it seem like it's different from the
y'all
sub-Saharan
silly,
African
yo.
groups when,
No, listen.
according to the
Only thing
U.S. Census,
different.
the North Africans, they're considered white. That's not helping,
Y'all
people that look
let me
like
know
you.
when I can speak. I'm gonna go on mute. Y'all let me know when I can speak.
Yeah, go on mute for a minute, yo. Go ahead. Mute it out.
Yeah, he need to go on mute because
Yeah,
y'all
you
let
go
this
mute
man
it out.
change the whole topic of this conversation.
I
We
know
was
it.
talking
I
about
thought it would be
Asians,
fun.
bro. We went from talking about Asians and to talking about people hating black people, and then all of a sudden, y'all just got these people just, man.
Tariq,
But he probably
Yeah,
proved your
man.
point, though. He actually
It goes
proved your
back.
point. He
It
proved
Tariq,
goes
the black
back
hate.
to.
Tariq, you need to buy these
Yeah, he
books right
proved
here,
your
brother.
point.
Listen, it goes back to my original point when I first came in here that I was trying to get to till
You don't
everybody
have a
jumped
point.
in.
You don't
Man,
have
I
a
My
thought you
point.
was
point
on
is,
mute. You supposed to
my
go on
point,
mute, man. Go back on mute, man.
my point
All right,
is,
No,
we
go
need
back
to
on
get
mute. Go back on
self-sufficient.
mute, bro.
Everything we need
No,
to
go back
produce
on mute.
ourselves.
You gotta go
We need
back
to
on mute.
provide our own jobs.
No,
We need
you
to
can't
provide
do
our own
that. The
food,
Nation of
our
Islam
own
proved you
health
couldn't do
care,
that. The Nation
etc.,
of Islam proved you
etc.
can't do it,
We're
dog.
not we don't want to hear you, bro.
Yeah,
So
you
give
can't
up
do it.
then. So
Yeah,
give
you
up then. Y'all got a victim
You're a
mentality. Y'all
Turk.
ain't gonna do
We don't
this.
we're not
Get
on that
out that
Turkish
victim
shit.
mentality. Y'all done
Yo, you
gave up,
can't do
man.
Take
it,
that
yo.
They
Turkish
done
shit
knocked
back
the
to the
fight
Middle
off you.
East.
No, leave him
Hey,
alone.
So
come
lay
on,
down
man. We
then.
ain't
If
gotta
we
We're
cuss
not
can't
him
do
out.
it,
Turk.
if we
We
can't
ain't
do
gotta
it, then
cuss him
lay
out.
down then, bro.
Yo,
Lay down if
hold
you
on,
can't
Hey,
wait,
do it.
wait,
hold
wait,
on,
hold
hold
on,
on,
wait,
hold
wait,
on.
wait.
I'm putting
Let's
everybody
make
on
it
mute.
simple.
Everybody,
Hold on,
freeze.
look, let's make it
Freeze.
simple. Let's make
You
it real
sound like you
simple, yo.
gave up, bro.
No, hold on. I'm gonna ask you the simple question, brother. Do you have your own business?
You can't ask him no question. JJ need to say something first. Robert Rand, you on mute. I muted everybody.
All right.
Just hold up. Hold your dice. Hold your dice. JJ, come on. You working. We know you ain't got all day. Lay your pseudo on us. Is you frozen?
It's probably
Yeah,
for
he
the
frozen.
best.
He
Yo,
frozen.
hold up, yo. Look at your man, JJ. He wearing a mask and everything, y'all. He know the corona real.
Oh hell no. He
I
froze.
thought he
He
was
froze like a motherfucker.
Yeah, he froze. I'm gonna leave him right there. Who fell off?
Everybody froze.
Oh, your man fell off. He ain't getting back in here, yo. Not after that. Nope.
Yeah.
Can't.
That man don't even got a business yet, yo. When everybody else have a business.
Leave him in the waiting room, yo. He fell off again.
Anyway,
Dude fell off again, yo.
don't say this when everybody
JJ,
sound like the Nation
yo.
of Islam, yo. Why do
JJ
everybody
froze up.
hey, yo, why do everybody start off with that? That's the 60s. That we want our own business, we want our own. Okay, nigga, have a business then. Man. Yo,
JJ in this thing, yo.
where your
Come
man
on,
at, yo?
JJ.
Where's the more guy at, yo? Where is he
Probably
at?
ain't got no signal at work, man.
Look, hold on. JJ is back. JJ, come on.
JJ working,
Can you
man.
talk to us, or you operating the machinery right
The
now?
Most High got him working, yo. Do the same. That's what I'm saying. We end up doing the same things, yo. Don't matter what we call ourselves. We end up doing the same things, yo.
JJ, we can see
on the
you,
Well,
though.
if he's
forklift.
in the
Yo.
warehouse, he's not gonna have no
He trying to
signal
act like
on
he
time.
he trying to work, y'all. He trying to work.
He is. He on the forklift, yo. And you know you got the day. If you had the
Yeah, you
signal,
can't
that's
be on
right.
your
Look,
phone on the forklift.
You know you
We'll
can't
fire
talk
you.
and drive a forklift. You know you're
Yeah,
not smart
JJ
enough.
can't. He ain't got no earpiece in, yo. That's why he cut his camera off.
Yeah.
Where your man at? Where you at?
And that's evidence right there. Your job.
All right.
Definitely finna fire you.
T'Challa dip. Look, y'all done ran T'Challa off. Y'all done let this dude hijack. Listen, this is Sutek's fault because he added this dude. He let him
That's
on
your
the
fault,
panel.
I mean, we beat him up a
We
little
had made
bit.
some interesting points to the Asian community, and now they looking at us like, see, y'all motherfuckers is hating yourselves.
How about this?
Yeah,
I'll bring
yes.
it back to the original point. I have a issue with you, Sean. We finna fight.
Oh, she's back on the issue with Sean.
We finna fight, Sean.
Dude.
No, we ain't
I
gonna
don't
fight.
care what you say. You better stop the black hate. Check on Montoya. See what he doing, yo. Because he tripping.
Because you ain't never put the thing in there, though. I told him you got to set his YouTube, how to get to the monitor.
Oh, his YouTube is set up already.
Yo, JJ's back. He's back.
All right, hold on. Let JJ go. Come on, Hebrew.
This dude
Hebrew.
hiding underneath the pallet, son.
Come
What's
on,
up,
Hebrew.
family? What's going on, family?
Yeah. Go ahead and talk.
I'm just peeking in, man. You know, I'm about tired of all this misinformation, Uncle West. You gonna have to cut it out, brother.
On what, yo?
Uncle West,
I'm here.
I love you, man. You like a big uncle, but hey, your days is up. Hey, your days is over. All that evolution stuff. That's 2014, brother. Hey, it's 221. You got to step it up. You know, so I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out, Uncle West.
You got that with some old ass religion.
Do me a favor, JJ. Can you do me a quick favor, JJ? All right, we're gonna cut evolution out. So just do us a favor right now. Explain to us, if not evolution, then what? Go ahead. Explain the process to us. Because you know we ain't just pop up. If you tell us that, you might get kicked out. Explain to us.
No. This gonna take more than a 2-minute explanation. Me and you need to have a sit down.
No, we don't. You converted me. Now explain to me what you talking about, real quick. It don't just give us a briefing, like a quick briefing. Where we start out at? How did we start in the clouds, on Earth?
See, basically, we didn't start off with the Big Bang, like you said.
Okay,
you said that it was a Big Bang. Microorganisms evolved from microorganisms all the way to human beings.
Okay.
You haven't proved that.
Okay, I'm asking you. I know you won.
Right? I mean that's your belief, right?
No, I'm off of it now. I want you to explain to me. Give me the new way of life, yo.
I'm just saying that if you go by all the ancient people,
okay, what they say?
They ain't rocking with that, man. They all have some kind of Elohims or Elohims.
Okay.
See, really, let me tell you something about the Bible, man. See, the Bible is really a story about these Elohims who came down. Because you got two different versions in there. You got one. Some of the guys want to destroy man. Then you got other guys who want to save man. You see what I'm saying? But see, a lot of y'all are looking at the Bible in the wrong way. It was basically just a documentation of our ancestors getting in contact with extraterrestrial beings. But see, y'all ain't ready for that type of information.
Teach, JJ, teach.
Yeah,
is that
what so basically?
Can I say something?
Teach, brother, teach.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
I gotta get up off here, man.
Right, but he's off a little bit.
Hey, I'm in the cubby hole, man. I gotta get up off here, man. I'm hiding. I just wanted to duck in and holler at y'all for a minute, man. But Sabio, man, come on, bro. I ain't never ran from you, bro.
So you scared of me. You scared of me. You kicked me out of all the back chats and all that. You ain't even on my level, bro.
Sabio, Sabio, come on, man. Anytime you want to get in the ring, we can settle it. I'll come over. Matter of fact, I'll come over here and beat you up. I will come over here and beat you up.
Afraid. All right, you know what?
Now I'm gonna just build off the
when I get
BS
off
you was
work,
talking
me and you gonna
about.
set something up,
See,
and I'll come over
let's
here and
watch
beat
this.
you up.
Yo, I'm coming
Let's
with
watch
Silvio.
this.
We're gonna double team you, bro.
Hold
I'm
on.
coming. I'm
I
rolling
don't
with
need no help. I
Silvio.
got this dude. He's scared. But listen,
So
remember what I was saying about the Bible earlier, y'all, about it being a war story.
yeah, and
A
very
cup. That's
temperamental
exactly what it
aliens.
is. It's war stories and stage plays.
It's more to it than that.
We're not
But hey,
even realizing this though.
but
They're
yeah,
Jewish,
But
Greek,
Sabia, we
and
can set
Hebrew
something.
war
Listen,
stories
Sabia, we can set something up.
Roman war stories.
Listen, we can have a discussion, you and I. I'll come over here, me and you, and we can hash it out. Because you said that all we need is the scientific method, evaluation, hypothesis. What'd you say? You said all we need is a scientific method. Well, let me just drop this ball. Let me drop this on y'all before I go. The scientific method, the person who created the scientific method, the reason for this was to understand nature so that he could understand God. You see what I'm saying? So your scientific method
It was to understand life, not God.
no, to
You see,
understand
stop
God.
putting
Go look at the
life
Muslim
and
dude.
God in the same same concept. Stop.
Look, go look up the Muslim dude who created the scientific method. That's our homework assignment for today. With that being
It
said,
wasn't
the
even a
people champ
Muslim.
signing out. Shalom, but I could die.
All right, scary dude. But yeah, remember what he said. Remember what he said. Remember what he was just saying. He was kind of right. He kind of had some points there that I kind of leaned to say that he had some. He was kind of onto something, but he was wrong because there was no actual Elohim coming out of the sky. These were stories of cultures trying to put their God above another culture's God, who they were at war with. This story of the Bible of this Jewish God, Yahweh, happened to become dominant. And he transferred his attributes or some of his powers to other deities such as Allah and Jesus. A bunch of stories.
Yo. Who's that?
Yeah. Y'all some angry wolves, bro. Y'all smell blood.
Y'all gonna ever get back to the Asian conversation?
Yeah,
I was trying
that's
to.
why I didn't want to be a part of the discussion.
Yeah.
I want to stay on. I want to stay on the stop hating black. So CK, you want to?
Oh yeah, I'm coming for you,
to the
Sean.
panel as well.
You want to be European? You want to be European? Go ahead.
Nah, son. I can't even remember your exact words no more because we don't went off on so many different tangents. But it was something that you had said earlier about that you didn't care for, that we try to get into other people's plights or something like that. When it comes to like with the Asians, when they started complaining about, you know, how they've been oppressed in the United States or whatever, and you know, some black people kind of identify with what they're going through or trying to, you know, support them and their I guess you could say their them being outspoken about it or whatever. So I'm not really coming for you, not really per se, but I just wanted to touch on that real quick because I kind of have a perspective I kind of wanted to bring to that, and that is I said it in the chat already, and I basically wanted to say that I think that we would get more done so far as in the United States. I can't really speak for that on other countries because I ain't never been there. You know what I mean? If people that are discriminated in this country, if they did band together to try to push back against white supremacy, you know, and I think I did throw a couple links and articles in the Discord server at one point in time about some Native American groups that actually were working with Black people against discrimination, white supremacy, and police brutality. And it was pretty impressive. I was like really impressed. I ain't never heard of the group. I can't remember the name of the group, but it shouldn't be too hard for me to go back and find that link.
Man, they're doing this so they
Anybody?
can get that damn casino.
No. The Black people, they still identify as Black. They don't identify as Native American. It's just that they're working together. They're working together with the common issue that they're having in their community with being targeted by the police in their area. You know what I mean? I just thought that was really interesting.
Profiling Indians?
Why wouldn't they? I mean, they do experience it though. And another thing that I want to kind of touch on too as well is that I don't really care for how we as Black people have a tendency to not be empathetic or sympathetic to other people. Mainly I'm speaking about like other minority groups when they talk about the discrimination that they experience in the United States or whatever type of oppressive kind of actions that they. Well, I mean, we can't sit up here and say that we're against discrimination and we're against injustice and all that good stuff, and then turn around and not care when it happens to other people.
Yeah, but they discriminate against us too.
Well, you would be doing. The way I see it is like this: you would be blanketing. Yeah, the way I see it, like you'll be blanketing and make it basically saying, "Oh, all Asian people feel that way," and that's not necessarily the case. Just like all Black people aren't gangbangers, you know, and strippers and rappers and whatever else.
Hold on, CK. Hold on. There's two different things: gang banging and hating. See, the hate festers because it's shown, it's demonstrated. It's demonstrated.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say all of them people do that though. And I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you, well, not really an example, just something that I experienced when I was younger. I met a dude from Palestine. Yeah. But I met a dude from Palestine when I was in high school, and I never knew much of anything about Palestine. So he got to talking to me about the things that he and his people experience. Well, technically Palestine's not even a country or a state, but y'all get my point, you know. But the discrimination and subjugation that they were experiencing from the Israelis, you know, how, you know, they were being killed, they were being monitored, they were being harassed, their homes were getting taken away, jobs were getting taken away. You know what I mean? He was talking about how some of his family members were killed. You know what I mean? He said his dad, you know, got an opportunity, you know, found a way to get at least some of his family, not all of them, but at least some of his family to the United States. And even as a kid during that time, I could understand and identify how what they were experiencing over there is similar to what we as Black people experience over here. You know what I mean? And I just don't like it how not all Black people, but some Black people, we tend to not be empathetic and sympathetic when it happens to other people. It's like we only care about the oppression. We only care about the discrimination when it happens to us, but we don't care when it happens to other people.
We have endured more than any other.
It comes off hypocritical.
That's not hypocritical.
That's another thing. Who are we to determine that? Oh, our suffering was much worse than theirs.
I'm not determining no emotional thing. I'm not working off of emotion. I'm working off evidence.
Okay, but who are you to tell them that their suffering is not just as bad as ours? We don't like it as Black people when other people tell us that, oh, your suffering wasn't really that bad.
Hold on,
you weren't alive during slavery.
I'm gonna make you wrong. I'm gonna make you wrong right here. That's why you're talking over me. I'm gonna make you wrong. Here's where you're wrong at. The Palestinians, the Israelis, the Japanese, the Koreans, all Asian, every ethnicity in this world can come in a Black neighborhood, and we don't show any prejudice toward them. But the minute that we go inside of their communities, in their countries, all over this world, we are immediately discriminated against. Immediately. This is not me finna say, oh, one person's plight is different from this one. No, oh, I can sympathize. But the reality of it is that, okay, yeah, that happened to your people. But we had a mass the largest global enslavement of a people on the planet. And did they say anything? No. Was participation a part of it?
You talking
Yes.
about with the Palestinians, right?
Man, everybody. I
mean, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that I know enough about other people's cultures to say what they did and didn't know.
Who ain't sympathize with me.
What they did and didn't do, because I'm not willing to make the extreme claim that you're making, because I don't know enough about other people's cultures and what they were and were saying in regards to what was going on in here in America. And then you got to realize too, on top of that,
the Indians
information coming from over there is not
the Europeans enslaved us. The Arabs enslaved us.
The Chinese enslaved us.
We had, you had Chinese people enslaving us.
And guess what? A lot of those other groups enslaved their own people too.
That's
all I'm saying is this.
Listen, you're being an apologist.
Oh, hell
There's no need for apology.
You lost your fucking mind.
There's no need. Yeah, I'm giving you evidence. I'm giving you evidence.
I'm not saying that those people weren't doing any type of discrimination against us. All I'm saying is that when there is anyone in the world that is experiencing discrimination, they're experiencing oppression from a dominant force. Like, I can understand how, like, okay, hey, you know what?
But I bet you he didn't care about your plight. But he gave.
I didn't say that they had to care. I never said that. Why do they gotta care?
So why should we have to?
All I'm saying is we need to be consistent. You can't sit up here and say that, oh, you know,
my ass till you step up.
We want everybody in the world to care about what's happening to us and to do something about our situation.
Oh,
y'all ain't doing nothing. Oh, y'all ain't saying nothing. You ain't trying to stop them from doing this, that,
they
and the
don't
But
care.
then when it's happening to them, oh, we don't care.
They don't care.
But that's the thing, though. That's exactly how things got crazy in Germany with the Nazis. It's like you didn't care when it was happening to that group because, oh, you don't care about them, you don't like them or whatever. But then now the Nazis are starting to do the same shit to you. Like, it's too late now. It's like, yo, these mother flowers dropping dudes off in chambers now. You know what I mean?
That is not worse. That is not worse than being displayed. That's not worse than what we endured.
Listen, what about injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere?
That's all I'm saying.
That don't mean shit to me either.
It doesn't stop being injustice just because it ain't happening to black people.
No, I'm not. That has nothing to do with me either. That's a backdoor move to allow them to continue to say we're experiencing injustices.
Is that true, or is it a true statement or a false statement? Is it a true or false statement?
It's a false statement. You want me to qualify it? You want me to qualify it?
I would love for you to qualify it.
Thank you. Okay, so I just gave you an example, so I'm gonna say it again. If there's injustice everywhere, right?
It's an injustice anywhere. It's a threat to justice everywhere.
Right. Okay, so again, our struggle is well documented in history. It was the largest mass enslavement of a people dispersed around the world. And even till this day, that's the injustice.
Exactly. So did Asian people ship you all around the world?
All right.
Asian people
let me ask y'all this question.
In the enslavement. Hold on.
We gotta be specific because there's a couple different groups of Asians.
Asian people participated in the enslavement and the prejudice against our people.
And Africans. So you had all groups.
I am dealing. Nope.
Yep. All groups.
No. Sabio,
this is where the conversation going to go wrong.
Mute out, Sabio. Mute out. Just hold on. You said and Africans. Is that correct, Sosa?
That's exactly.
So show me an African nation in the 1300s or in the 1100s that knew what was happening to other West Africans, specifically when the so-called Moors was enslaving them and sending them to Europe.
You said Africans didn't know that the Moors were shipping Africans to.
Hold on, CK.
Didn't they apologize for that shit live?
No, they
Like
did
a couple
not.
years
Hold on.
ago?
No, they did not.
Hold on.
Do you want me to pull the video up?
No, they did not. I'm talking about the Iberian slave trade, CK. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So you're saying that African nations were unaware that the Moors were shipping other Africans to Europe. That's what you're saying.
They
show and prove. I'm asking you to show and prove, sir.
How did they get the slaves?
Africans wasn't selling Africans.
How did they get the slaves?
You said Africans was enslaving Africans. So now
how did they get the slaves to ship?
You tell me.
Where did the slaves come from, bro?
You tell me. I just told you the people came from West Africa. The Moors enslaved West Africans and sent them. I was specific. The Moors enslaved West Africans 7th century in the 7th century and sent them to Europe. Why?
You said why?
Yeah, why?
Why? The point is you said that African nations were unaware of that. And those Moors, you saying those Moors ain't African? None of those Moors are African. That's what you're claiming.
Nah, I don't know.
You're saying that these Moors come from? I'm really in 700 AD, where these Moors come from?
I'm really unfamiliar with Moors, just to be honest with you.
In 700 AD, where'd they come from to go get these Africans?
I don't know where they come. North. They came in traveling from a direction that we call North Africa. I don't know where they come from specifically, but they don't come from where we come from. They came in traveling from North Africa. And we don't know who these people are.
And they coalesce with other African tribes, right?
No, we don't know that either.
They just marched their way from North Africa all the way to West Africa.
We don't know that
unabated.
We don't know that either. We're unfamiliar with them.
That's insane, son.
They came with their prejudice and their sword.
Some people knew what was going on.
No, they didn't.
People were participating on it. They was trading. They was trading for stuff, yo. That's just like trying to make it seem like they didn't know that people was coming to America.
No, they didn't.
They knew. They were participating.
This showing your ignorance right here. So this is why I'm asking you to fall back. I'm about to make this easy work on y'all ass. But you're making it a little too easy for me. They didn't know, and I'm telling you they didn't know. And they telling you that they didn't know. They telling you that they didn't know. All the way up until they found out when the Europeans was enslaving people and was finding out what was going on because they didn't understand what slavery meant in other people's culture.
Stick to a time period. What time? We're still at 700 AD or you done jumped up to 1500?
I'm going all the way through history. I'm still in 700.
Because if you look at the Portuguese slave trade and if you understand how they were getting these Africans from the interior, and if you talk about
getting Africans from the interior from the jump, bro.
They had Africans. I'm talking about from the time of the Portuguese. After that period, when they started getting slaves from the interior, when Alfonso started,
the Portuguese was not getting slaves from the interior.
When the son of the first king of the Congo wrote back to the king,
you went to a whole nother spot. When you bring up the Portuguese, you got to deal with they never got to the interior.
The Portuguese, the 1400s, right?
They were not getting slaves from the interior.
Man, it's like talking to Hebrew. 1415, right? Right? When did
down that area? They near Senegal right now. They near Senegal.
All right, then walk with me. 1415, right? After the first king died and the son took over. What time period are we in now?
You said after the first who?
The first king, the first Alfonso, his father was the first one that made the deal.
Alfonso is irrelevant.
He is very relevant because he's dealing with the Portuguese in that area.
Are you gonna let me finish? I'm trying to help you out. Alfonso is irrelevant in 1415.
How is he irrelevant in 1415?
In 1415, the Portuguese don't even make it down toward that area. They stuck.
Okay. All right. So
near Senegal,
so we don't have to stay at 1415. That's why I said when his son took over. When his son took over, and his son is right
jumping.
I'm not.
Sean, why
I'm
you
telling
playing
you
with him?
from his father. I'm walking you down a timeline from the father.
You can't.
The son took over.
You got to start in 14, 15.
I started in 14, 15, family, with the first one.
I'm trying to tell you right now, when you're dealing with the Portuguese, Sosa, you got to start in 14, 15. You can't slide.
All right, so can we? All right, so are we just gonna stay at 14, 15, or do we move, or do we keep moving through 1400s?
I'm trying to tell you, all through the 1400s, even into the 1500s, they didn't know.
In the the letters of Afonso writing back to the king in Portugal. He's talking about his people coming over there and double cross him, and they making side deal with his vessels that he have over there. And he says, "Yo, you're sending people over here, and they're getting slaves from my vessels, and you're giving them weapons, and soon they have visions of grandeur." So I'm saying, so at that point in time, they are bypassing him and getting slaves from the other groups in Africa.
1526. You done left the 1400s, which is where I was at, and you done went to 1526.
Yeah, bro. Alfonso was 1500s.
I'm going to sleep.
Let's pull it up, bro.
So what I'm trying to say, Sosa, is that they did not know at all. They didn't. Their understanding of what servitude and slavery was different. They didn't know.
This is what I hate, bro. If you look at the brutality that the Africans did with these other Africans, bro, who gives a fuck if they don't know, because they was just as brutal as the goddamn slave masters, bro. That's just a fact.
Brutality, Sosa? What brutality?
When they marched them 300 goddamn miles from the interior and shit, and they was putting goddamn tree barks over. What?
Who marched them 300 miles?
The Africans from the interior.
How do you know? How
am
you know
I lying?
Africans from the interior?
Am I lying, bro?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How they get to the interior?
You're lying. You don't understand what you're saying. I'm telling you that you don't.
All right. We go.
You're assuming that they were Africans.
I just want you to stand on that statement that Africans didn't march them from the interior down to 300 miles to the coast.
Bro,
that's what you're saying.
Who had the guns? Because they had guns when they went into the interior. By the time they get to the interior,
them guns didn't. Them guns was not. Nigga, the spear dominated. Then nigga did one shot guns wouldn't work shit.
You're wrong again.
They were trading guns in the 1500s. They were trading guns. Nigga, you crazy?
You're wrong again.
They definitely was trading. They definitely was trading stuff for weapons.
They was trading guns. The spear was the most efficient weapon.
They wasn't even giving people guns in the 1500s then.
I mean, if not, they were stealing them.
They were trying to get to. They were trying to get to the interior. They were not just trading like that. They had guns on them, marching people back. They had established what they established because the Arabs allowed infiltration because their religion told them to go get the people that ran to the bush.
Man, that one shotgun was not relevant in Africa, bro. The spear was still dominant, bro. The spear was way dominant and way efficient. That damn one shot.
Bro. How long distance do you think the spear is compared to a gun?
It's a one. At that point in time, it's one shot. They don't got the Gatling gun.
That don't matter though. You can
when they got the Gatling gun, the bodies got bigger.
Trading guns.
When they got the Gatling gun, the bodies increased. They weren't even. That's why I keep telling you.
You talking about before the Gatling gun, nigga? They was trading
in the interior. They wasn't in the interior.
Bro, they traded guns way. I'm trying to get the. I'm trying to get the source real quick.
I got the source. I got the book on the guns.
Yeah.
They were trading millions. They were trading guns in the damn 1500s.
It's called The Gun in Central Africa. It's a history of technology and politics. I got the book. I did a whole presentation.
I ain't going to just a book.
Bro,
are we really pretending like some people like couldn't get out of a certain status in different parts of Africa, especially if they did a certain job, you know what I mean, like leather work or whatever job that certain groups considered dirty, like they couldn't rise above their social or their class status that they had in place. And there were some groups of people like that were definitely treated like how what we would consider as basically slaves. And you know, the people that were considered of higher class, they couldn't marry with them, they couldn't have kids with them, you know, and a lot of times they were just treated differently. You know, and I really do feel like we kind of give how various ethnic groups treat their own people in the sense. Like it's not that it's just because the Europeans and the Arabs were so harsh.
Again.
The ancestors made their mic copy.
Again. They don't get gun trading until the 1700s. When they begin to get to the interior, they got the Gatling gun. When they get to the interior, the Gatling gun allows them the ability to do what they did. I'm trying to tell y'all this.
I'm trying to. I'm on my damn phone. Go ahead. I ain't gonna.
The whole point is that they did not know, and you're acting like they knew. They didn't. So when you just blatantly say Africans knew, no, they didn't know. They had no understanding at the time until they found out. Then when they found out, they like, hell no, we bucking this shit. You start seeing rebellions everywhere. You start seeing more resistance, and then the resistance increases. All the while, the people that were converted to Islam still continue to enslave because they made it an economy. They made bodies an economy. Bodies
well, North Africa, as well as some coastal regions of West, Central, and East Africa, gained access to cannons and early form of muskets as early as the 14th and 15th centuries.
So that's what, 1300, 1400.
In some cases. What's the source?
No. You said
specific. You said in some cases.
Yeah, because I said that the gun that they were trading guns there. The gun was there.
You got UNESCO, right? You got UNESCO.
I'm in goddamn
UNESCO in the chat.
I'm in Oxford. I'm in Guns in Africa to Oxford.
No. I don't care nothing about that. I'm saying you got UNESCO, right?
No, I'm not looking at UNESCO right now.
No. I'm asking if you got the book.
No, I don't have the book.
Okay. So I think CK got it in the server. So,
yep, I do.
So if you
you said that I was saying you said that the guns don't get they don't trade guns to the 1700s.
No,
so that's 14.
They're not trading until the 1700s. That's when you see it, bro. They were not brokering guns like that.
I guarantee.
So hold up, then what were they giving them the slaves for?
If you go to
what
Bristol,
were they getting in return?
Well, if you familiar with Bristol,
it wasn't even bodies till later. The bodies came later. It was all about
Bristol.
They were trading regular stuff. Then when it became bodies, it was like, okay, the first inception of trade began when when they got Adahu the Moor and they did all of that with him, and he wanted to trade himself for 10 other people. And then that's when that happened. But then they wasn't brokering it like that. This thing was not in the interior. They kept trying to find a way into, if you study the Portuguese or if you study the slave trade extensively, it tells you they stayed off the shore of West Africa. They did not
know that. So how did they get the slaves from the interior if they stayed on the shores?
One more time.
Somebody had to go get them.
That's what you saying. It's a simple
one
question,
more
bro.
time. The Ashanti were Muslim converts. Yes or no?
But were they African?
Are they African, bro? All this game, bro.
I'm trying to answer one question at a time. Do you understand that the Ashanti were Muslim converts? They were doing business. They found a way to make a living for their empire. So when
did you just agree with Sosa?
Hold on. Because see, when he says Africans, he's being broad. I'm being specific. I'm dealing with the.
So they stopped becoming Africans because they're Muslim converts.
Man, you playing games.
I'm not playing games. What I'm trying to tell both of y'all is that y'all
I gotta alleviate Africa by goddamn religion.
That is not what I am saying, Sosa, at all. The first.
Then why bring that up?
The first people that they got, they didn't even take them. They took the people. The second people that they got, they took the people. The next people they got, they took the people. The people that they kept taking, bro. They were raiding villages before they even met the Ashanti and started dealing with Muslims. I'm talking about the 1500s. No,
how did they get
Can you let me finish? Can you let me finish? Thank you. So
what you didn't answer his question though.
I answer. Listen, how the fuck can I answer his question if he's still talking? I'm trying to answer the question. I am being specific here. I'm not doing the shit y'all do. I know what I'm talking about. In 1415, since we're doing timelines, the Portuguese came down there and they captured one person. The one person was traded for 10. Then they came back and they began to steal people. They would catch them rowing boats and things of that nature and start kidnapping the people and bringing them back to Europe. That's what they did for a while. At the same time, they played nice and tried to do trade in other places. They tried to establish relationships for goods and services. That only went so far as to say, hey, you know, you got some people. Then that became an issue because they don't know how to communicate with these people. So now you have the influence of Islam saying, hey, we can enslave these people. So what they do is the Ashanti, specifically a certain tribe, it slipped my mind right now, is running in and they getting these people that were running to the bush that they've been beefing with. They are bringing them back as captives and they're trading them for goods and services, right? That brokers the early trade, but it was slow. When you get later on into like the later 1600s and up into the 1700s, you begin to get massive amounts because they just now in the 15th century, they just now discovered the new world. And now they're dealing with the Indians and all of that stuff. All of that transpires. And then we get the doctrination of discovery in the whole 9 yards. And now they need bodies because the Indians ain't doing shit. And when that comes, when that market opens up, now it's an all-out war that the Portuguese and other European nations created. So when you say the Africans knew, they didn't know. They just thought that they was doing the same shit they've been doing the whole time until they found out. Until you get Alfonso writing, until you get other people trying to fight back, until you get all these people rejecting it. Then you get these leaders that come up in history and tell them, we ain't going for that shit. But then you still created a massive problem. This is why the British in the 1800s was like, man, we got to get out of this. We created something. So then they began to sit their little ships up, they military ships, and start trying to fight this damn enslavement shit. Not only the British, other nations, but the Portuguese were persistent. They continued it. So no, I'm not saying that they did not participate. I am specifically saying they initially did not have no damn idea because they were clueless. Go ahead, Sauce.
So were they like clueless during the Arab slave trade? All the way into, you know, the European slave trade, or like, you know, when did it not become clueless no more? That's where I want to make sure I'm understanding.
The Arab slave trade partaked in a religious belief. Regardless of whatever we say, they were influenced by Islam to enslave anyone that was not under the.
Oh, so they weren't clueless during the Arab slave trade?
Yeah, they were very clueless. They had no idea what was going on with Arabs.
I don't know. Their doctrine talks about slavery pretty decent, you know.
Well, whose doctrine?
The Arabs' doctrines.
Okay, so how many people in West Africa was reading any doctrine about the Arabs?
Some of them could be right Arab.
How many West Africans knew how to read the Quran or any of that stuff?
Listen, forget it. I'm saying, though,
wouldn't have been
did
very many
Africans,
people.
before the conversation derailed someplace else, bro, did the question what I said was Africans brought Africans from the interior. Is that you corroborate that stuff, but
when you say the Africans brought other Africans from the interior, that is later on in the debacle, and that is accurate in the debacle, and that's why I said that's later.
And I still, and you saying, and I still stand by that. You're saying that in the 14th and 15th century, that the gun was superior to spears.
Hell yeah. Yes. They had more guns, bro. They could shoot from long range, bro. They write about the wars. They were shooting from long range. Africans was used to hand-to-hand combat up close and personal. I even put a quote up on Facebook that even said that. When one of the kings quoted as to saying only a punk would make a gun. And then I had all the gun.
Bows and arrows.
Yeah, they were used to getting up close and personal, bro. They fought hand to hand. They wasn't even into that. The Europeans came with that influence. Yes. I'm with you.
I'm going to find another source real quick on the effect of this of the spear and how when the gun was first invented, the spear was still far superior.
If I'm sitting 100 yards off you and I can hit you from 100 yards off, your spear superior. You can only throw your spear.
Were very
it's one shot, and they got both narrows. Don't got one shot with
you that. Missed that shit. Took you almost 2 minutes.
And it can't. And it's inaccurate.
I don't think that y'all understand what y'all talking about right now. I can't believe what I'm hearing right now.
Bro. I'm not telling you. This is not what I'm not telling you what I say. I'm telling you what the scholars say. That's why I'm gonna find a source. I'm gonna find a source real quick. Go ahead. I'm gonna find a source.
My only point was that I just don't want. I mean, I don't like that some of us can be hypocrites about other people's plight. You know, I mean, if some black people want to do that, you know, I mean,
a gun is a weapon that must have been invented by a coward, king of the Nindeble.
That's anecdotal. It's called an anecdotal trap.
I'm giving you a king at the time of the gun, telling you that ain't anecdotal. That's a primary source. How the hell is that anecdotal?
That's anecdotal.
Okay, a gun is a weapon that must have been invented by a coward, the king of Ndebele. That's Africa.
Okay.
But yeah, them earlier muskets though, they were inaccurate unless you were up close.
Very inaccurate.
Then you missed. It took a good minute to reload. So guess what? You know, people with the spears and the bows and arrows, you kind of done.
Prove that the spear was mightier than the damn musket.
I'm not saying necessarily it was mightier. I'm just saying that you kind of in a bit of a pickle if, let's just say, you know, you miss or anything like that, the bullet on the person, you know what I mean, from that far of a range, yeah, you kind of screwed.
Nobody.
You know, I mean, if you can't reload
for me, but okay for other people. Nobody insinuated that. I'm standing strong on the fact that, listen, you don't even care about my plight. So why the fuck should I even care about yours? I don't think that y'all understand that. I don't care what happened to other people. They never cared about what happened to us. This is the problem that I have with us, is that we care more about what everybody else's issue, but very little about our own. Like, we struggle the most. And I stand on that. Wherever we go, we are discriminated against in this world. We can go wherever in this world and we are discriminated against by all creeds, all customs, all traditions of other people. But the minute that they say that they are going through something similar recently, similar among us, we supposed to sympathize with that. But where was that shoulder when we were trying to express ourselves in our struggle? all throughout history for the
But I'm
last
just saying,
1,500 years.
wouldn't we be able to get more done if the discriminated groups band together to say, hey, you know, we are all standing together saying that, hey, we want this to stop?
Show me that in history.
What would East Asians have how would East Asians be able to help regular African Americans?
I'm not saying that they would be able to help us.
No,
I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying like it's a false equivalency. Their population base and fucking from slavery till a certain point of time is insignificant. They couldn't even they couldn't have helped if they wanted to. Their numbers were not even minuscule.
But we can't pretend like.
So
my thing is, we shouldn't be pretending like other groups aren't discriminated in this country. We're not the only group.
I don't care about other groups being discriminated against.
Okay, well then guess what?
When does that matter more than me? CK, when does that matter more than you?
The group that is oppressing us, they're going to be allowed to continue to do that because of that statement that you just made, right?
When are you going to look in the mirror and love yourself more than that?
I didn't say I didn't love myself. All I'm saying is that how the white man continues to do what they do is because the different groups that are being discriminated upon, they don't band up against that one dominant force.
How can you sympathize with somebody that don't sympathize with you?
I mean, that's just my perspective. No, I'm not saying other people have to feel that way. I'm just saying that I understand what it's like to be treated a certain way. And then when I see somebody else being treated that way too, and I'm looking like, you know, that's not right. You know what I mean? It doesn't stop being not right just because, it's not happening to somebody that looks like me.
And I'm gonna ask you
That's my only thing. Because I noticed that with some black people, even like on Facebook, they make it seem like, you know, they don't care. Oh, you're not really being discriminated upon. You're not this, that, and the third. And it's like, y'all do realize that like other groups experience some of the same shit as us, but it just doesn't get as much media attention as it does with us.
They were never hung by rope. They were never hunted. They never.
That's what I'm talking about. That right there, what you just said.
They never had to flee.
Yo, like, what gives us a right to tell another minority group that they aren't suffering enough?
What Asian you know had to flee and run in swamps where alligators was at? Who had to flee from mobs lynching you? Who had to flee when you couldn't look a white person in the eye? What Asian had to do that?
Same question. What right do we have to tell another group that they're not suffering, that they're not experiencing oppression and discrimination in this country?
What Asian right do we have? I need to know what Asian had to run through swampy water.
Why can't you answer my question though? Why can't you answer my question?
You never answered mine. You never answered it.
No, mine's is more important. What right do you have to tell another minority group that they are not experiencing discrimination? They're not experiencing any type of oppression in this country.
What discrimination
right do you have to tell them that?
Has the whole Asian population experience that is traumatizing them? That is being handed down through their DNA.
No, I need you to answer that question. And I ask any other question.
They're not being discriminated. How are they being discriminated against? Their plight is not worse than mine.
Then it's not. To be worse.
I can't even.
So it's a measurement.
I can't even measure it.
I get it.
I can't measure it.
Oh, you can't?
I can't.
So why are you doing that now?
I can't see it.
Why are you doing it now?
I can't.
Yeah, you're right. You can't see it because you're not Asian. You can't see it because you're not Asian. Just like they don't probably understand our plight 100% because they're not black.
I see Asians getting jobs when we ain't. What am I supposed to see? I see them getting more opportunities than we are. What am I supposed to see? They have communities. They got neighborhoods. We ain't got shit. What am I supposed to see?
We got neighborhoods.
What neighborhoods we got, bro? Well, I'm sorry, you're in Atlanta, so it's different for you.
See, I go through it all the time in Atlanta.
I just find that's what I said. That is the most contradictory thing, though, Sean.
And
you don't want no other group to tell us that we can't say that, hey, we're being oppressed or anything like that, but we can tell another group that, oh, you ain't really
not
oppressed.
telling nobody
What right do we have to do that? We don't like it when other groups tell us that, oh, you're not really oppressed. You're not really this. Look at all these opportunities that you got. But we can tell other groups that are being discriminated too.
Hear me closely. Just hear me closely. I ain't telling them nothing. I'm telling them that.
What do you mean? You just did. Oh, you're not being oppressed.
No,
you're not being discriminated upon.
I ain't said none of that. You said that. I'm telling you that.
What do you mean? You said that.
Your struggle.
You said, "Oh, I don't see them doing this and experiencing this and that." That they have to. You basically were implying that they have to experience the same exact oppression that we experience in order for them to really be oppressed. That's measuring
as African Americans, they don't measure up. It ain't it's not gonna go beyond me to the Asian community. It's not gonna be
I'm not saying that these mother flowers ain't racist. I don't need to ain't saying these mother flowers don't care about us. All I'm saying is this. I am not going to tell another group that they're not experiencing oppression and discrimination.
Our struggles in America have been bigger than anyone can ever assume. And we still face it today, hundreds of years later.
All I'm saying is don't marginalize theirs. That's all.
Who's marginalizing? What am I marginalizing?
You did.
What serious incident have Asians faced?
You did.
What serious incidents? Give me some examples. Give me 10 examples.
10 examples?
Yeah.
Dude, they get discriminated upon for just simply being
10.
Asian.
No, give me 10. Give me 10. CK.
Like, are we pretending like they don't experience any type of discrimination?
Are you familiar with the when the British went into India?
I am staying right here in Africa. I'm staying right here.
You're talking about America. Like they definitely were killed here too.
I know. Saying like
examples.
There were massacres of Asians in this country too. By white folks.
Give me 10.
Are you familiar when the British?
Why y'all ain't answering? I need 10. Y'all got 10 to know.
There were definitely a couple of massacres of Asian groups in their communities a couple different times in the United States.
When?
It would have been in the early 1900s.
When? California, the goddamn California, the opium trade.
And I think that's what it is. I think it's because we don't know enough about what other people have experienced because we don't care.
I don't believe neither one of y'all. Can y'all give me a source?
You're not familiar with the opium trade, bro?
I think that would be the best way to do it.
Can you give me sources, please?
All right.
I think the best thing to say, Sean, is just say this. Say, hey, you do not know enough about the other ethnic groups in this country and what they experienced to say that they have or have not experienced.
Go to the
just say that instead of lying and saying, "Oh, you didn't."
I ain't lying. No. Don't say I'm lying.
Put a measurement on it. Oh, until you experience exactly what I've experienced, you
I didn't call you a liar. Don't say I'm lying.
Yes, because you are lying.
No, I ain't lying. What did I lie about? Point the lie out.
And I mean, it probably doesn't help that we're sitting up here trying to marginalize another group's oppression, and then they're not even here to even speak up for their own group.
Lie out, CK.
We're doing what we kind of accuse white people of doing when they kind of sit up there and say that, oh, black people aren't experiencing systemic.
You will never be able to point the lie out. Point it out.
You bet. You said that they don't experience any type of discrimination or oppression in this country.
I don't see them doing it. Had they
yes, of course, you might not see it because you ain't Asian. From your perspective, you don't see it, but from their perspective,
are they coming up dead by police?
Are they what?
Is the police?
The media does a shitty job of reporting stuff like that. Anyways, it seems like they only fucking report stuff like that when it happens to us.
Are they getting jobs passed over them? Are they unable to create? Are they unable to create successful businesses for themselves?
Well, that's because they have. That's because they have a.
How are they in the housing market?
You're conflating arguments. That's because they have that's because they have a government behind them. They're not from here.
You are full of shit, Sosa.
So when they, I'm not full of shit.
I'm right here being an apologist for Asians, bro.
I actually spent a lot of time in a Korean community, bro. Around
I don't give a fuck about that. I'm telling you right now, you can spend the rest of your life in the community. Their plight ain't bigger than yours.
I never said that.
Hold on, go ahead.
That's what I call it. You're making a straw man argument.
Hey, so no goddamn straw man.
That just lands to Sean's point, though. What you just said. You understand that, though, right? That's all I'm saying, bro. That statement you made just lends to Sean's point.
You were able to go into an Asian community and live among the Asians.
So what? What does that mean?
Oh, okay.
Nah, I'm talking about
how's that prove the point?
Nah,
go ahead, Sute, tell him.
I wasn't the only nigga there. What the fuck you talking about?
What'd you say, Sute?
I'm talking about the point you made before that, bro.
Yeah.
Just repeat it, bro, so we can be clear.
Yeah, shit. I don't know.
We clear. We clear.
Yeah, I mean,
we clear.
We're not Asian, bro. Like, it's like I don't know per se what the Asian experience is, bro. I'd be lying if I said I did. I ain't Asian.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So when the sisters went into the nail shop,
don't give me no anecdotal, bro. That's anecdotal, bro. Because I can give you an example of when a gangbang or a robber ran up inside the Asian shop and beat up an Asian person.
If I give you 50 examples of Asians discriminating against black people, it's anecdotal.
Okay, can I give you 50? So you saying I can't give you 50 examples of niggas running inside the Asian shop and killing an Asian person and beating them up?
Yeah, give me 50 examples.
Oh my God.
Because you can't do it, motherfucker.
I can't. I mean,
Sosa, you can't do it.
I can do it.
Sosa.
I can do it.
No, you can't.
I'm not going to sit here and try to find 50.
Give me 50
assault cases, bro.
You can't. It should be a.
So you're saying that black people? So you're saying that black people ain't been robbing Asian people, bro? That's what you're saying.
You can't give me 50 examples.
Okay, how many times you think it happened? 2?
I don't even care how many times it happened. I'm just going.
You said if you're asking for 50, you care.
Oh, sir. I asked you for 50 sources because I know you can't give me 50 sources.
I can give you 50 sources. I'm just saying,
you might give me 5, 15, you might give me 10. I don't believe you can give me 50. I'll wait.
All right, give me 10 cases. Give me 10 cases of where an Asian person has inflicted harm on a black person, bro. Just give me 10 of them. I'll wait. Give me 10 of them.
10 discriminated.
No. Give me 10 cases of an Asian when an Asian harming a black person, and I'll give you 10 cases of a black person harming an Asian person.
Okay. All right. So New York, you had 3 incidences in New York. Okay. You had at least 7 incidences in California. Okay. You had some in I do believe Georgia, where they were going to the restaurant and then people had that little incident there. So the 7 in California were all specific to food, nails, and hair. New York, food, nails, and hair. Down south, food, nails, and hair. And they all went viral on social media.
We could just go to the study. I'm on my phone. I wish I should have been on my laptop, but I should freeze up. You know, there's a study that breaks down the demographics of shit. They did this in California. You could just pull up just the one in California.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of people get robbed in California.
Nah, bro, we're talking about blacks and Asians. A lot of people get robbed.
You're gonna have a lot of robberies in California. That's your best bet where to go.
Niggas get robbed everywhere. A lot of robberies in Georgia.
Well, I'm saying for this argument that we're having, your best bet is California.
I mean, it's not like there's strong Asian community all over the goddamn and everywhere.
I know. There's only a few spots.
Wherever the Asian community is robust, right?
Yeah, let's go there.
Yeah.
And in them same stores a week prior. Hold on, let me do it like this. No, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna stay right here. What service do black people have in Asian neighborhoods? 0. We don't have none. So Sosa saying black people look for Asian shops to rob.
Niggas in the community, bro. Shit, you know, motherfuckers done got their wig blown off.
Yeah, they get robbed. It ain't matter who.
Goddamn play like
You
that.
Habib or it don't matter whoever in the neighborhood, they get robbed. They hungry. It's usually Asians, a lot of Asians. That's why I say California is gonna be the best bet for the argument because there's
That's
a
where
lot
the
of
population is most robust. That's where they started mostly in California.
Yeah, there's a lot of profiling by Asians on blacks in that area too. So
I know 4
the discrimination
personally that been killed.
You can find 50 robberies in California. So
I know 4 Koreans personally that been killed by black people within the past 10 years. Bro.
That's anecdotal.
I'm just adding to the that is anecdotal. But I'm saying that's 4 cases that I know where I ain't got to look. Personal people.
But how often do black people kill Asians?
That's another conversation. I don't know. How often do Asians kill black people?
Right, they're both rare, right? Would you agree that we don't see a lot of that going on? Even in the gang culture in Cali, like you really don't hear about the black people riding on the Asian gangs, because the Asian gangs is into some whole nother stuff in Cali. Like I
got their numbers up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but shit, that's why them damn Asian stores is bulletproof duck like it was, bro.
That's very true.
They didn't start off that way.
Nope, they didn't do that either. My point is this. I don't trip on that. This hasn't been this is recent. This discriminating to Asian, like to the level of where it's got to now, is recent because of the coronavirus. Like they feel like they're being discriminated against because of the corona freaking virus.
Nah, bro, because I've heard the conversation way before the pandemic, but I ain't Asian, so I don't know the Asian experience.
I'm saying it's ramped up since the coronavirus.
Yeah,
but I don't know if he was here to catch the article that we read earlier. But the article that we read earlier laid out from an Asian, laid out their 30-point argument. And then they were saying that we need to do a better job with black people, like several times. Like we got to understand this about black people. Like we're trying to make our problems this is from the article that was written and published by an Asian. Like he's saying these things like we got to do a better job at this with black people. That with black people, understanding black people's plight, understanding this, like we get to the point that we get to now because of black people. We didn't come here, we didn't have to endure any of these things, but black people endured these things and we just benefit from it.
I don't argue against. I wouldn't argue against that. That's a fact. But what I'm saying is like that shit goes both ways. And one thing I learned from coalescing in that community is that, when you got to understand when you're dealing with another culture. You feel me? And you have to deal with that culture on its terms. You know what I'm saying? So when I go up to a Korean that's elder, you give a bow. You bow like, you feel me? It ain't like a handshake or like it's a different culture. You got to show respect that the elders is paramount in that community. Like the elders call a shot.
To our culture though?
To what?
Do they give that same respect to our culture though?
Nah, they don't.
Asians for the most part, if they're in their community, they're in a Chinese store, they're not like going out and about into the club and shit like that. See what I'm saying?
But they're in our communities though, making money off of us.
Yeah, they're in the community, but most of them that come over, how many of them speak really good English? Very few. Yeah, very few choppy English. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so yeah, it goes both ways. But what I'm saying is like, you got to understand you're dealing with a different culture. So sometimes a rude look to Asian, when you look at an Asian, face maybe a rude look to you, but they ain't even rude in their culture because the other cultural norm and shit like that. So it's like, you got to understand that people see things differently. We talk differently. You know what I'm saying? I know when a black person is talking aggressively, but he ain't dangerous. He ain't trying to go at it like that.
If an Asian following me around the store, like, am I tripping there? Is
The
that
what?
just if an Asian person is following me around that store while I search for something to buy, am I tripping? Or is it cultural?
Nah. I ain't giving that. I'm not giving a pass to the Asians doing that. It's gonna be fucked up individuals everywhere you go, bro. But what I'm saying is, like, take for example Atlanta, right? You can go to Asian places right now in Atlanta, bunch of them, bro. And the staff is black. In Atlanta, we got wing shops everywhere. A lot of time the Asians run them. The whole goddamn staff is black. I walk into a Vietnamese restaurant, expect to see a damn Vietnamese person or Asian. It was all niggas in there. So I'm
That's
saying,
because they started a Japanese cuisine restaurant, though. That ain't got nothing to do with the Asians.
Right, they niggas is hungry.
no. The Asian run it. She may be the owner, but she hire all black people because she's in a black African
Because she's
community.
in Atlanta. She's in Atlanta. She's
Hey,
being
bro,
business
African American community, and she knows that only person Asian is her and cook.
Listen, she's in Atlanta. But take that same scenario and I go right around the corner and, to the Chinese spot right here in Antioch where there's a lot of black people at. You're gonna go in there and see all Chinese Asian people. It's 2 Chinese restaurants beside each other right off of Bell Road. And both of them ain't got nothing but Asian employees. Not a one black person or white person in the vicinity, and they're in a black community. And as a matter of fact, they even got a Muslim temple around the corner from that, and a Christian church, and a post office on either side of that. My point is, Sosa, in Atlanta, the worldview is different. That lady's being smart business-wise to put them black people in front of there. So she ain't got to play the front. She just collect her money.
Of course. But I mean, if you're in a community, you want to hire people from the community. That's just good business. That's just good business practices. You know what I'm saying? And for the cultural crossover. So I'm saying, because the sister at the counter gonna know how to deal with the brother that's a little upset because there ain't enough goddamn shrimp in his rice. You see what I'm saying?
Hey,
so
man.
I'm saying, like, I'm saying, like, I've heard the conversation happened prior to the pandemic, but I couldn't relate because I ain't Asian.
But it's picked up more. I'm not, listen, I would be a fool to sit here and say that they ain't been discriminated against. We're in America. These white people discriminate against everybody. But what the Asians do is they also discriminate too. We don't discriminate against them. We don't.
We do.
How, bro? We go eat at their restaurants.
Yeah,
we go to their stores. Bro, we skip over black-owned businesses to go to these Chinese restaurants. My niece does nails. My niece does nails. She does them really well, and she works her ass off to perfect her craft. And yo, these women skip right over her to go to some Asian to get their nails done.
Yeah, I know niggas who get.
I had one in my house doing nails one time.
Yeah,
so I know.
But there's plenty of black people that go to a Chinese restaurant, get food, and don't like them niggas. Bro. They just go get the food. They don't really like Asians like that. Food is cheap.
All right, so you telling me that we go places and spend our money where we don't like people for real?
All the damn time, nigga. I know plenty. How many niggas go into the corner store and deal with the goddamn Arab and be cussing them niggas out?
I don't even go in the corner.
Every day, them niggas in there. I hate this nigga, man. Every time I come to you, do the shit. Nigga be right back next day.
I get two of them.
And don't forget after 9/11, how a lot of anybody that looked Arab looking was heavily discriminated upon.
But we didn't.
Oh no, now that wasn't us. It was the white. It's the same white people that we all of these minority groups are having a problem with. Is the same white supremacists.
Yeah, but reverse
my
that.
problem is like, yo, we need to just band together and get some laws changed, man.
They discriminate against us too, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. I would never disagree with you on that.
These Arabs had us in slave trades before white people did.
Hey man, y'all
I
gotta
agree.
let that pass.
I'm right with Sean, bro. Nah, I ain't leaving nothing.
Y'all gotta listen, man. If we gonna heal, bro, y'all gonna have to
How heal
let
from
the past go,
what we
man.
healing from? What we healing
Y'all,
from?
I don't
Remember
disagree with you, Sutak. I agree
what
with
we
you.
healing from
I'm
though?
saying, like, y'all,
Hey,
how can wounds heal if you keep picking at the scab?
Who? Okay, so let me ask you this.
because they keep creating the scab. The shit ain't done. It ain't over.
Sosa.
It ain't a scab yet. That motherfucker still bleeding.
I'm gonna give y'all an example.
We finally got a police officer that might go to jail for killing a black person.
That'd be awesome.
And
I mean, some have in the past.
If that happens, Sosa, if that happens, the whole black community is going to celebrate it. Think about that. Look at the ramifications of that. One damn white officer goes to jail and the whole fucking black community celebrate that.
Yeah, he
Like
won't be
we're
the
gonna
first.
see a damn a party. The clubs is gonna be open to celebrate this motherfucker going to jail.
Based on the nature of the case.
That happen?
Based on the nature of the case. Yeah. But he won't. He won't be the first police officer to go to jail and kill a black person. That's not. I'm exaggerating.
I'm not saying. I'm saying specifically on the. You're right on the scale of this magnitude because you're correct. Other police officers may have went to jail or just may have been fired and relieved of their duty and did no time in jail.
Yeah.
Right? Some people mustered up millions of dollars of GoFundMe to help them fight their legal battles and troubles and get reduced sentences so that they can go and live with an ankle bracelet off. Some of them got away with it. A lot of them got away with it. But what I'm saying on the bro, we are about to celebrate a police officer being charged, convicted, and sent to jail. We have not really bear witness to that on this level ever.
It's just
we've lost. We've lost more than we won, Sosa.
It's because of the nature of the crime and how it was displayed. The brutality that was witnessed on the scene. That might have been the first time you saw an actual police. But what I'm saying to you is that
more than we won.
The times are changing, bro. This may have been the first time a police officer actually got on the stand and said, yo, he violated protocol.
Exactly. The first time a police officer said that. You know what they usually do? They stick to the blue code.
Exactly. So times are changing, man.
Nah, man, you can't say times are changing because of one incident.
Sean, when
times changing.
When in your lifetime, or how? Think about the impact of George Floyd's death and how it reverberated around the world. Like when has that ever happened in history until now?
What about Tamir Rice?
I'm saying until now.
We watched the police roll up, hop out their car like they was in the Wild Wild West and buck the kid. Didn't even say put the gun down and none of that. Just rolled up and dropped a kid, playing in the park.
So you saying things ain't gonna never change?
I mean,
do you want me to keep naming the bodies that have dropped from the police hands and police walked away? That police officer walked away, yo.
I mean, because it's law. Anytime you're dealing with law, it is what it is.
He was in the park playing with a fake gun.
I'm sympathetic to that, but the fact that he had a gun gives him leeway.
So our kids can't go to the park and play with water guns.
Bro, like I don't agree with it, but I'm saying that's that loophole, bro. Shit, I beat cases before because shit ain't right.
Corey against you on that. He went out. Corey threw up Rodney King on you, Sosa.
Been guilty as hell, goddamn. I've been caught guilty as a mug, right? Wrong as hell, lying because shit ain't right.
But I was gonna say,
we've lost a lot of lives, bro. Just to the police in the last 10 years.
I know we lost. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying we didn't lose a lot of lives, but I think that we're blind if we think that we're living in a society that has not changed and it's changed.
It is. I agree. Society is changing, but is it changing in our favor? One conviction is not going to give me promise.
Hey, it's got to start somewhere.
I'm reading
I agree with you, CK. It does have to start somewhere.
But look at Black Lives Matter, Sean. It's a gang of different groups of people working together to try to get something changed in regards to the police brutality in this country. Another example I was going to use, before, if you go back during slavery times when they had the white indentured slaves, my mistake. You had the slaves and the white indentured servants. They at one point in time worked together to try to rebel against the slave masters.
That's a good
they
question.
Couldn't have that shit. So they started giving them white indentured folks, a little bit something to say, hey, how about you be our, our lookouts? You know what I mean? We can't have you banding together with these slaves. Right, yeah. So it's like anytime, I feel like all of this stuff is like division. Like they don't want the people that are being discriminated upon in this country to band together, because that'll be a real fucking problem.
They are
when you
not
start having different groups of
CK. They're not going to do
look at the whole riots last year when you had white people, black people, Asian people, Hispanic people
a riot is just
together to fight against
to make some noise. They are not going to do anything on your behalf, CK, but march, because We Shall Overcome is a national hit.
Nah, I'm reading this book right now. It's called the Moral Arc, and it's laying out the foundation of how science and critical thinking lead to the transformation in shape and culture of the society that we're in right now, and how we're moving forward. And it tracks it.
Are we in a society that's scientifically literate enough to be able to transition it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
The moral arc, of course, because we talk about a country.
Bro, what are we witnessing with the vaccine then?
You always want to have that. That doesn't mean it. Yeah. Okay, how many people, what percentage of the population take the vaccine now versus 50 years ago, 100 years ago? I'm saying that the book is laying out from the science, from the religious movement to the Enlightenment to where we are now, and it's documented in history, and how you can see it in the nature of how people are speaking and how people are questioning what is what morality is, what is right. I'm saying, how should we treat people in employing critical thinking? So, when you look back at the goddamn early 1700s to now, and if you don't think the nation has transformed dramatically, that's crazy.
Nah, I would agree with you when we're comparing the 1700s to the 2000s. There's absolutely a huge change, but prejudices and discrimination against Black people in America still exists. It's still prevalent. Even with the little small wins that we've had, we've celebrated. We've had a lot of inclusion into things that we suffered and fought for, and we had to adjust and adapt to those things. But let me answer DC question real quick. Cause DC says, so what's the plan? The plan is the plan is the blueprint for Black Power. That's the plan. If you don't have that, I suggest you get it. It's a big, thick book, and it's going to take you 2 months, 3 months to read, depending on how you're reading it or how long it take you to read it. But I suggest you make it a summer study. The blueprint for Black Power is exactly what it means. Now, necessarily, you have to look and understand that when you're defining power, you have to comprehend how it's being defined when you read it. And it has to start inside the home, and then it has to start with your next door neighbors, and then it has to start to where you can build a neighborhood. Some people have business models, and everybody's business model, in order for Black businesses to thrive, they have to live in an all Black city. And some people pack up and move with that hope, and that's why Atlanta is like Hollywood right now. And if you think about LA in the 90s, when everybody was packing up in droves, going to California, driving the population up, spreading out all over California. And you had those, those major cities take on bigger populations. All other things went up, but it's stuff like that. That was some people's strategy or plan. Yeah, DC, if you haven't read Blueprint for Black Power, there's all kind of stuff into that. It's not individually.
I never got into Amos Wilson.
Man, he do the stuff you like. You like the mind. You like to ask these old weird questions to trigger arguments.
There's no weird question.
See, you see my point though.
The message to the matter. Yeah, I do the science
psychology, man.
I do the psychology. I do the neurosciences though. I mean, some psychology is, in some aspects of it, it can be very subjective. That's why you get your Francis Cresswell, senior Dr. Umar, who are psychologists, and they got their word.
Yeah, them. Nah. Dr. Amos Wilson ain't nothing like them. I hate to say it like that, but nah, he ain't.
Because you can do that with psychology. That's why I kind of stick to art science, social science.
Yeah. I know why you do. Because the two people you named will drive you that way.
Yeah, and they're psychologists, PhDs, and they can.
Yep.
I'm a psychologist, so I gotta be right. Like, no.
Nah, not necessarily. Yeah. But no, I mean that you get that, and then you understand how to move in the Blueprint for Black Power, and that's a tool. Now, it's not the only DC. It's not the only tool. It can be applied to your daily life, and it can help you expand and teach others how to do it. The thing is that you're gonna have to be consistent in your approach. We all have to be consistent in our approach. Because right now we're trying to run a label, basically branding the Kofi Paisai research team. So we're trying to do all of those things, and you just have to be consistent in the approach, and you have to stay out in front of people, and you have to continue to drive the point. But the initiative is that we're in 2021, and Black folks still don't understand economics, politics, or really just truly how America governs individually and then holistically, because we can't even get local politics correct. We ain't even looking at it from a local perspective and then growing over that. We just doing it as a popularity contest like we did when we was in school, because best dressed, who was the best dressed? You name that person. Who was the funniest? You name that person. We did that like superlatives. So it's like politics. Selecting politicians is like superlatives nowadays. It's whoever got the most money to get out in front of you the most, to get their name heard the most, because that's going to be what you remember when you go to the poll for some people. And then some people mind already made up whether it's going to be a blue person or a red person. They don't care who it is, as long as it's along those color lines. And that's as backwards too. But you have that because a system is in place for people to continue to have the laws of the world or this country govern the way it governs for their benefit.
All right, so in the Blueprint to Black Power, if communities being discriminated against, it said just mind your business.
We ain't got nothing to do with other people's communities.
That's what it said. That's what it said.
The said the Blueprint for Black Power.
That's what they was supposed to say. Look, if some nigga get discriminated against, they can mind your business, black man.
To tell you the truth, bro, Amos Wilson is his people first. Just like Asians are their people first, like Chinese are their people first.
Yeah,
like
you can be your people first, but
but we ain't that. We all inclusive. Everybody pain gotta be in. We gotta feel everybody pain. We gotta sympathize with the Asians, the Chinese, the Koreans, the Laotians, the whoever. We got to open our arms up and embrace everybody.
That's what Jesus do.
Let us love everybody. Why they hate
just
them?
don't marginalize their plight.
Hey,
that's what Jesus would do. What would Jesus do?
Hey, man.
Guess what? You wouldn't
Jesus would
allow
get on the
another group
stand
to
and
do
lie.
that to you.
Jesus
Don't
would
do
get
that
on
to
the
them.
stand and lie, telling people he walked on water. He turned water to wine. He's a liar.
Y'all brothers is ruthless. Y'all ruthless, bro. I can't do it like that. Y'all ruthless, bro.
That was box wine.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out, man. You know what I'm saying? We had a good argument.
Getting late.
I love y'all. It's getting late. Yeah.
It's gotta be here.
Yep, sang it. I forgot. Ain't it? Nah, Floetry. It's Floetry, ain't it? Ain't that Floetry?
Oh yeah, Floetry. That's like one of my favorite groups right now. Yeah, that's all I was saying, Sean.
Nah, hey, I'm still, but hey, listen, they ain't.
I don't know, like, I guess I'm different because I grew up, you know what I mean, being around a lot of different people from like different countries and stuff like that. And you know, they get
I'm
telling
done
you
with
about
multiculturalism. That's been our problem. That's been our problem. Multiculturalism.
I'm not saying march in the streets for them, Sean. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying march in the streets for them. I'm not saying, you know what I mean, get shot by police for them.
Pro-black.
All I'm saying is understand.
Say pro-black.
So I mean, the Panthers were
pro-black doesn't mean anti everybody else.
Hey, I'm black and I'm proud.
Was it the Black Panthers pro-black, right? The Black Panthers.
Yeah, but pro-black don't mean anti all these other groups, though.
Multiculturalism got us wide.
And it's gonna be kind of hard to keep saying stuff like that, Sean, when you have black people that are having children with all these different groups. We have black people that are having children with Asian people, Hispanic people, white people.
I can't control who thing going in somebody else's thing. That's not my thing. I'm saying black. Say it with me, CK. I'm black and I'm proud.
Oh, definitely black and proud. Like, look at my look at the symbols in my avatar, sir.
Well, then act black and proud and leave them Asian problems out of here.
My thing is, I don't have a turn off switch. Like, I don't just all of a sudden don't see injustice and discrimination when it happens to other people just because they're not black like me. I understand it, like, hey, like, you're experiencing racism too, just because you're Asian, just because you're Hispanic, or just because you look like you Muslim, but you don't even practice the faith, but you sitting up here getting discriminated upon and mistreated by people just because of that. I understand what they're going through, and they shouldn't have to go through those things. How can you
understand if you can't relate?
Because we go through the same thing over here.
Nah, we go through worse.
It's still the same thing.
We've endured it more.
It doesn't become any better or worse just because, we were hanging from trees and this, that, and the third.
CK,
that's not fair to us to tell them that,
images of your forefathers being hung from a bridge.
I'm saying, does it stop being racism?
Back up again. Hey, y'all, I'm out,
I'm saying, does it stop being racism because they're not experiencing the racism exactly the way that we experience it? Does it stop being racism?
Who's being racist? No? Who being racist? Who discriminated against? Because, you know, they say some black people tackle some of these people, these Asian people.
But that's a really good question, though, Sean. Does it stop being racism because they're not experiencing it the exact same way that we experience it?
I don't know.
There's an actual definition of what is included, what is considered racism.
All I know.
Do we go by the definition, or do we go by your arbitrary stance?
All I know is everyone else benefits from the struggles off the backs of blacks.
And some of them participate.
Their struggles are nope. I will never.
And even when you start looking at the Black Power movements, like some of these foreign governments
allow someone else's struggles to outweigh mine. I've endured far.
I never said outweigh.
But yeah, that's what's happening.
Don't marginalize.
Yeah.
Don't minimize.
You want me to minimize my struggle?
No. Yes. I didn't say that.
Yes,
but
you did.
You are.
No,
you are by saying
that. You told me to minimize what we've experienced.
Nope, I never said that. Not one time.
You said minimize what I've experienced to
nope, I said sympathize, not minimize. Sympathize. Two different words.
You just told me to minimize my struggles to sympathize with the Asian.
I didn't say minimize. I said sympathize. It's not the same thing.
Now show me.
You can't minimize and sympathize at the same time. Those are two separate opposite spectrum words.
Okay, show me an Asian. Show me an Asian telling they Asian brothers and sisters to sympathize with the blacks.
Nigga, it's on fucking YouTube. Like people are on. There are Asian people
I'm
on
asking you to show
YouTube
me
that are
Asians.
calling for that.
I'm asking you to show me Asians saying we
Okay,
need to
this is what
sympathize
I
with
say.
black.
This just because you have never seen it doesn't mean it don't exist. It's not that hard. We are
That's
on
not what I'm
YouTube.
asking you.
This
I'm
ain't in
asking
the
you.
early
I'm
80s and
asking you
stuff
to
where you
show
gotta
me.
hunt for books and
I'm
stuff like
asking
that.
you to show me. That's
I'd
all
rather
I'm
you do
asking.
it on. I'd rather if you care enough to know, you will look it up on your own time.
See
Yo.
now
Just type
you're
it in on
doing
your
the
search
pseudo
bar.
thing. You're doing the pseudo thing. Look it
Yeah,
up for
I'm just
yourself.
curious to see if you'll see
Thank
for
you, son.
yourself. Type it
Thank
in
you.
on the search bar.
We
Type it
out
in
of
on
here,
YouTube.
folks.
I
We out
challenge
of here, folks.
everybody in the fucking chat.
We is out of here,
Type
folks.
it on YouTube and see if you see any Asian people that are.
Log in to KofiPaisaTV.com and get Spears of the Mossy Volume 1 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, from Spears the Pen Volume 2 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, Spiritual Combat Volume 3 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, One Night Before Bed by Any Harret Shun Kalfani, Kalawa's Trip to the Motherland by Kofi Paisa, From Cocaine to Consciousness by Any Harret Shun Kalfani, As I Learned, We All Learn by Kofi Paisa. Also, if you want fresh merch, go to our online store, Family Connect Apparel, and get all the brands. Also, get our 54 deck of quiz and educational cards available now on KofiPaisaTV.com.